This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Whenever. We can start whenever.
Oh, okay.
Things are recording now. Things are happening. Wheels are spinning.
Things are happening. Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I mean, we might as well go ahead and do that.
I don't know if I like doing it at the top.
Oh, wow.
Gotta be honest.
Okay.
I feel weird about it.
You're like, I don't like this. I don't like how we do this.
I don't like change.
Okay. Okay, cut that out.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm just saying, me personally.
So I was on Reddit the other day and I found this funny thing that I'm not sure I kind of was thinking about saving it for the shorty, but it's kind of funny because
Okay.
it's not really a shorty date thing. But anyway, it says, what was the most creative way you left a bad date early? Was the question. And this person
I need
put-
ideas.
Yeah, right.
Please.
This
Do you
person
have an
wrote-
answer to that?
Actually, no.
I don't think I do either.
I've sat
I
through the
suffer.
bitter
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
end.
I'm a sufferer as well. This person. So she says, well, I didn't technically see it, but it must have been a pretty bad. I work at a hospital and I answered a call on the ward from a patient's son. He asked how his mom was doing, I'm assuming. Then asked if I could call him back in a few minutes because he was losing reception. I called him back and a woman answered. I said, hello, this is Damnation 182 from Reddit Hospital. Is XXX there? She passed the phone over to the same man I spoke to a few minutes earlier and gave him a quick rundown. And he said thank you and hung up. Didn't think anything of it until the next day when I saw the patient's son on the ward. He thanked me for calling him back because he was apparently on the worst date he'd ever been on. And the woman wouldn't stop talking about her ex-boyfriends, all of their flaws and how much she hates men. He apparently called from the bathroom, went back and left his phone on the table. Then when he went to the bar to get drinks, I called. The bad date answered and he had told her his mom had been in a car accident and he had to go ASAP. His mom was in for a routine tonsillectomy. Bravo, sir.
That's so well done.
That's a good one.
I would never think to do that. I don't know. I don't know if it's the woman in me or whatever, where we're built to just like tolerate things.
I just feel, even when someone's being terrible, I don't know, maybe it's like a profound, like, abundance of empathy
Yeah.
or something. But even when someone's being like awful
Mhm.
in general, unless I guess you were like overtly like racist or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if you're just being generally bad or like you're just not my cup of tea, I think I would feel so bad and guilty
feel
about like
scared.
making up a
Oh,
lie
yeah.
to leave. Like
Yeah.
I would just
scared.
feel bad.
I feel scared I'd get caught. I feel scared that
and then that would be
Yeah.
even worse. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
always like, what's a half an hour? You
Yeah.
know, like how
Yeah.
long does it take to get through a drink? And then you can extricate yourself. Like, and then, I've got to copy paste like, hey, thanks, no thanks kind of thing that
Yeah.
it's just so much easier to do it that way than I feel like trying to learn how to text under the table to your friend, which is like a crazy skill.
yeah.
Well, I know that they as if I'm talking about a specific person, but there was that whole trope in like the 90s of, hey, I'm going on this date with this guy, call me in an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone who's actually done that. Do you?
I also don't know if it would actually work because it's so well known
Played
of a
out.
trope
Yeah.
that
that's
people would be
true.
like,
It would only work if the
"Really?
hospital
Yeah,
called you
okay.
back.
Really?" Yeah.
And then she answered the phone.
Yeah.
And
Right.
also, why
Why the fuck are
Is
you
she
answering
answering
my
his phone?
phone, sir?
Right.
Ma'am.
On a first
Yeah.
date.
That's weird, right?
That is
Yeah,
weird.
no,
Don't
I
touch
don't-
my phone.
I don't like that.
That is weird.
Also, I'm such a weirdo that I'm not leaving my phone at the table with you, though. So, like, if I'm going to the bar, my phone's coming with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not leaving it at the table with that strange lady.
Yeah, unless maybe he was like, hey, if my phone rings, just grab it. I don't know.
God bless the iPhone 10 and it's like face recognition.
Yeah.
I'm like, good fucking luck getting that open.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
When it's ringing, you don't need it to be open, right? You can just answer it. Like
I think that's true. Yeah. It doesn't
Oh,
have
really?
to unlock.
Do you
I
want me to
don't
call you
think.
real quick and see?
You can test this theory. Test it right now.
Like don't actually, because let me make sure. Oh, I did actually remember to put it on silent for once.
Look at
me
you.
being
So
a
fancy.
professional.
Okay, I have something that I feel like we need to discuss.
Okay.
So there's been a rumor for a long time, and Cassie, you might know this. Not that I want to bring them up all the time, unless you want to tweet at the Daily Zeitgeist and tell them, to pay attention to.
I feel like sometimes they listen to us because I swear to you,
My
Jack says stuff. Sometimes I'm like,
actually,
okay,
you know what,
sir.
listeners, do it. Tweet at the Daily Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
If
We talk about them enough.
if everyone who listens to us does it, we talk about them enough. Get us on their show. So tweet at them and recommend at Worst Date Pod on Twitter.
oh my
But
God. I want to be on that show so bad.
I know, me too. I've wanted to be on that show
Yeah.
for fucking like so long. But anyway, not the point. I was listening though today, and they were talking about how there's been this rumor for a while, and this might be a hot take, and I know people are gonna cancel me for this. Some people, but Leonardo DiCaprio has great actor, fantastic actor. Always seemed like a bit of a tool. Like he seems like a womanizer and kind of a dick.
Yeah.
There's been a rumor for a long time that he listens to music in his AirPods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like vapes during sex. He keeps his AirPods in
He's like, I can't be bothered to speak to you.
during sex.
Okay.
I need to discuss this because I feel like that is so fucking rude.
I am so glad that you brought that up, because one of my biggest turn-ons is actually like fucking to music.
Sure,
I love
think
it.
that's
But
fair.
I love
Put on
it.
the speaker.
But I would love to share that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with you that you just leave your AirPods
Maybe he's
in?
listening to. Well, they were like, maybe he's listening to a podcast.
He's listening to MGMT,
MGMT, which I love, by the way.
which I love, but I'm also like, there's something weird about you alone listening to
alone.
like fucking Electric Feel in your
Yeah.
AirPods while you're fucking.
It's very isolating. And then I'm sorry, like I vape. Not during sex.
No.
That's
That's a hard no.
There's a certain amount of
that's
entitlement
bizarre.
that I feel like goes. Like,
Yeah.
Is there
He's
a
like, I
certain
don't have
amount
to give a
of
fuck.
disregard for the other person?
Yeah.
To just
it almost
be like,
feels masturbatory.
yes,
Yeah, like you're
here to service me.
Love
yeah,
that word.
just
That's
get
what
it.
this is for.
Get one of those like fleshlights and
Call it a
be
day.
done with it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to feed it.
He's also like, but this is a hot model doing it.
But I only fuck
And I
models
don't
in their
even have to
20s.
move my hand.
Yeah, he literally
I just
like
got
only
chills.
fucks models in their 20s. But the weird thing was on the Daily Zeitgeist they were talking about how it's something like 17% of people have sex with their AirPods in.
No, that's
No,
weird.
where did they
Right.
get that survey?
I don't believe that.
I don't
If
like that.
anyone fucked me with AirPods in, are you kidding
You're
me?
gonna pull those things out and throw them
Are you
across the room.
kidding
This
me?
shit is
I would be
unacceptable.
Like, we would be stopping immediately because I'd be like, "Are you for real right now?"
And you know what
Like,
they
get the
said
fuck
on
outta
the
here.
show was like, they were like, maybe people are doing it because like they want to listen to their music and other people, like the other people will have their own headphones in listening to their music. But then I'm like, then you're on different rhythms.
Yeah.
Which seems not good, like
And
for sex.
the point of sex is connection.
Right.
And you're literally severing
Disconnected.
that
Agree.
connection. And that is probably one of the most depressing things I've ever heard.
Because, yeah, like,
17% is enormous.
too many.
That's
It's
a
too
lot.
many. And I'm like, yeah, like fucking to music, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's
but it's a shared
wonderful.
experience. That's what listening
Exactly.
to music is, and having sex, that's what that is. You're putting those things together, which makes sense. I don't know, man. But that
Also-
just made me like with
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, I was already like
on the fence.
And then I heard that and I was like, that's a
I know.
hard
Fell over the
pass.
fence.
Just last week, we were talking about Respectful King, Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
And I'm just like, you put those two side by side.
Oh, God,
I'm
it's
just
not even a
like,
comparison.
not even close.
Not even close.
I mean, and Leonardo DiCaprio is the better actor, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck him.
No, not even a little. I actually, I'll hot take. And so you guys can all cancel me. I have 100% never thought he was cute.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that
Ever.
is a hot
All
take.
right.
I
Never in
I thought
Titanic.
Titanic
Nope.
Leo was cute to me.
Nope.
I liked I liked all of them.
He always seemed squinty, and I didn't like his little boy face.
Oh.
What else do we have going on? I saw like a lot of our people on Facebook were talking about Bachelorette
Oh my
this
gosh.
season.
Oh,
I didn't watch it at all.
Dear. So
really?
okay. And I'm not gonna say anything, but I have it at work, so I can watch ahead.
Ooh,
So I have watched ahead.
Shit,
Uh-oh.
girl.
Uh-oh.
I know who's going to hometowns.
Oh.
Oh my God. Are you spilling the tea on
No.
our break?
I cannot.
Cannot.
Oh. But yes, no, I cannot. I cannot share that information. But there is a guy on The Bachelorette this season who
Luke, right?
there's always a villain.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a villain. They set it up that way.
Yeah.
But this guy is it
So
actually
extra.
it is giving me anxiety because you're like real time watching this woman get like conned and gaslit.
Oh, Jesus.
And like he's that kind
This is why I can't watch that show.
He's that kind of gaslighter where like he will straight up say something and then in his next breath say he didn't say it and act
Oh my
like
God.
he's being victimized.
Oh,
I hate him already.
Yes, it's
fucking hate him
and
already.
he's like managed to trick her
Oh,
like up until this point. So
yeah, and the other guys are getting like really fucking upset.
They are so mad.
Yeah.
These men, and honestly, I get it. And it's like it almost brought all the men together because like the men are like banding together against this one guy.
Yeah.
They're just
like we've had enough of you,
yeah,
sir.
they're like,
Yeah.
man, we just need to stay strong. Just we got to hang in there.
Isn't that a red flag though? Like honestly, like not all of us are in like a bachelorette situation or whatever, but like when a group of random people all come together and they're like, this one person's a fucking psycho.
And she's said that to him. She's like, why does no one in the house like you? Like, I don't understand it. And then he'll like make up shit. But what I always think on that show is if I was I would like to believe this. I really would. And I've always said this. If I was the Bachelorette or the Bachelor, because there's always fucking drama.
right.
The Bachelor or the Bachelorette always gets caught between fucking two people feuding or whatever. My philosophy on that show, I think really would be like, if you are causing drama, get the fuck out. Because you have 20-something men on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you have one who's consistently causing problems, just get him out.
Yeah,
You know,
but
like,
here's the
but
other
that's
thing,
why
though. It's like
that show
reality
still is on
TV.
TV.
It's
Yeah.
just like I'm sure the producers
right.
are like,
absolutely.
no.
The producers are definitely
They're
like,
definitely in her ear. Like I've heard that they do like wild shit that they're like, Luke was overheard like saying how much he loved you.
Oh,
like
for
you know what I
sure
mean?
they
Like
do
they
that.
like do some
absolutely.
twisty
But this fucking
shit.
guy on like date, like the first date that she goes on, they go on a date and it's like it's a drag queen fashion show. So they've got some of the people from RuPaul's Drag Race and Miss J from Miss J
Mm-hmm.
Love
from
Miss J.
America's Next Top Model, and they're doing a like pageant kind of show.
Yeah.
And it's the first date they go on. And he walks out and says, I just want to tell you that I'm falling in love with you.
Okay.
Okay.
In front of all the other guys.
Okay.
And all the other guys are like, what
Wait,
the
what?
fuck?
Okay.
And they straight up tell her, they're like, listen, we all like you a lot, but we just met you. You don't think that's weird that he's like, I'm falling in love with you?
Oh, I would think it's weird.
Yeah,
I'd
I
be
don't
like,
like that.
get the fuck out. Like, that just made my skin crawl.
Red
Yeah.
flag city.
Red
You
flag.
hate that.
Yeah.
You
Red
hate that so much.
City. I do.
But you should. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah, that
you
would also-
don't know me. And it's weird. The
It is.
people that do that so quick end up
Well,
with
what it would
a
say-
host of other really weird behaviors.
And what it would say
Yeah.
to me, like on a TV show, is that like you are trying so hard to stay on this show. Like that's what it would feel like to me.
Yeah, and
like
you're either being super fake, you're fake because
Right.
you don't mean
there's
what
no
you're
way,
saying,
or you're
Right.
insane.
or you're insane.
yeah,
I don't
Which
want
is
either of them.
worse.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
exactly.
either.
Yes.
I would-
No. No and no.
I'm going to choose neither.
yeah, no normal person. And so he is the type of guy. I never thought I'd be this person talking about the Bachelorette like this, but he is the type of guy who like gets upset whenever she's like, you're on the Bachelorette. She's with other guys. You're on a group date.
Yeah.
And he gets like mad when she's with other people, or she,
Oh,
yeah,
I don't like
yeah.
that.
it's
That's the reddest of red flags right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Like-
Shit.
anyway.
Sir,
Luke P,
I
go home.
don't know if you know where you're at right now.
Yeah.
You literally signed up to be in a competition with other men
for
for one woman. There's one woman there.
yeah. So
This might not be for you.
This
Might not be for you.
Yikes.
Yikes.
You got some updates for us, don't you?
I
Zombies.
do. Well, we were talking beforehand about what like a fucking crazy week this has
Jesus.
been for all three of us.
It's just crazy week, I think, for everybody because
Yeah.
what I saw on something was that they said that not only was like Mercury in retrograde, but like Mars was in, I don't fucking know. Like it was
I felt
whack.
that. I fucking felt that, dude. I had to pay $700 on my car on Monday to like have it fixed. It was just like, Jesus, man.
1626 was my final bill.
Lord.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
On your car?
On top of your insurance, you had to pay extra? Or you just had to pay the
insurance
deductible?
plus the rental car.
Oof. Oh,
bill.
God.
Yeah. But
why is living so expensive?
I know, Jesus.
Quick question.
I like fart $22. But so I don't know, because this is kind of my first go round with this kind of thing. So maybe the listeners can help me out if there's something going on with the universe or if it's the time of year. But I thought summer was like single time.
Right.
But this
we are
week,
outside of cuffing season. What's happening?
this week I had not one, not two, but 3 zombies resurface.
I don't like that.
We had Return of Stabler.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how
why?
many times is this guy going to resurface?
Really?
I know. Good
Sorry, my
Lord.
cat is losing his fucking mind.
He really is like
so crazy.
banana sandwich right now. He really is. Then we had The Return of the Medic. Wanted to come back. Wanted another chance.
No.
Right.
But why?
Exactly.
But why,
But
sir?
why? But why? Honestly, it's ridiculous.
So the medic,
And-
didn't he have like a live-in girlfriend situation that
Yeah.
wasn't a girlfriend?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not on The Bachelor. You don't need that kind of competition, sir. Like,
I'm not holding out my hand for a rose.
No.
I don't care. And then this other dude face who doesn't even have a moniker because we never even met.
Oh, Jesus.
But literally like December is when we like matched and we're talking and we couldn't line up a time to meet. And then
so
he
you were
just
like deuces for real.
deuces for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, God,
Because
that's been
all
like 6
he
months.
wanted to do was like be like, and he was the one. I think I showed you some of his texts because they were explicit.
Oh, with the filthy guy.
Yeah, filthy guy.
Yeah.
Wait, but wasn't Stabler also a filthy guy?
Stabler is also a filthy guy.
Shit.
Wow.
But yeah,
You
no,
had a few
that's
filthy guys.
That's when I put the moratorium on texting explicitly with anyone until I've met them, at
Yeah.
least.
Okay.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I kind of feel like, listen, do your thing. This is just what works for me. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I like dirty texts. It's
Yeah.
entertaining and it
Just as much as I like a dirty book.
turns me on. Exactly. And it's like, it's fun.
Speaking of, I'm sharing one with you in a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is when you do that before you meet somebody, the meeting becomes anticlimactic.
Right.
You've fucking drained all the magic
you blew
and
the wad.
all of the tension out of it because you've already done all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is if you meet them and they're a goblin, you like, what are you going to do?
You're like, well, I've already sent you all of my nudes.
Exactly.
You know, all of my fantasies.
Exactly. And I'm like, there goes another goblin out in the world with naked pictures of me and the fact that, you know, I like to be choked a little, you know? So it's like
Oh, come on. Who among us?
exactly. So I'm like, okay, after
No shame in that choking game.
exactly. Just a little.
Little
Yeah,
shame.
I mean,
Oh,
don't
no, I thought
get
you were saying a
crazy.
little
Don't get
shame. I was like,
crazy.
oh,
Don't leave marks.
Well,
but like,
Well,
what?
not like that.
not like that.
there.
Well, yeah. Well, you guys remember I had to wear
shit.
turtlenecks like all
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
I
but that
remember.
wasn't for that, was it?
No, it was Hickeys.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. If a man is choking you strong enough to leave a mark, that's
No.
more than a little.
Yeah.
Like, we need to pull it back.
Yeah, we need to have a convo. I know what she meant,
it
though.
was bites and hickeys.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know what it was because I thought summer y'all were supposed to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And we were all supposed to live
Get
our
off
lives.
my jock, please.
Exactly, but 3 in a week,
Yeah.
just this week.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Not fucking ambivalent at best. you know?
Yeah. You're like,
I'm like, it's
I'm
summer.
good.
I'm like, I'm taking dance classes now with my
Yes.
girl. High five, and we're
Yes.
still fucking sore.
So fun.
Supposed
I'm
to be
doing
rock climbing today.
soccer. We were supposed to be rock climbing, but that's okay. We'll do it next week.
We'll hop on that horse.
We'll do it next week. So we got rock climbing, dance class, soccer. We've got
Shit
living
is
our best
happening.
lives.
Getting our
And I'm
grooves
like,
back.
Are you doing soccer Saturday?
yeah,
Let's do it. I'll do it with you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't know if listeners know like why zombies are creeping up on summer. If that's like a thing, and I don't know anything about it, please educate me.
It has been very like
It's been
June
kinda
gloomy
cold.
for the
It
last like
has.
several months.
Maybe.
Maybe people are like, because I did look at the calendar. We're recording this on the 20th, and I looked at the calendar and I was like, oh, tomorrow's the first day of summer, and it really doesn't feel
does
like
not
that
feel like
because
it.
there's only been
We
like
had
a
that
couple
one
of days
weekend
Yeah.
where I got sunburnt, by the way.
Yeah,
so
look
I'm
at my
peeling
tan lines.
skin
You have
off
serious
of my
tan
boobs.
bananas.
Yeah, mine are too.
So it's just maybe it's like their like internal clocks are all fucked up because
Yeah,
the
I
weather
know.
here has been so jacked for the
Yeah.
last like couple of months.
They're like, I don't even know.
They're like, I don't. Is it summer?
I don't
like,
know.
I feel like putting
The
a sweater on.
holidays coming.
Maybe we need to snuggle.
It's the
Like,
holiday season.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, I don't know. I think that's a good theory, but yeah, I turned them all down.
good for you.
Yeah.
No need for that shit.
No. There's no reason to dig up old bones.
No.
fucking
They're
reason.
buried for a reason.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
No autopsy is needed. So, yeah. We're good.
we have a new patron.
Oh, we do?
Yay!
Yes.
So her name is Callista Harper.
Ooh.
I know,
What a
Callista
great name.
Harper.
I know.
That sounds very romance novel.
That actually
I
sounds like
it.
it sounds very literary, doesn't
I
it?
like
It does.
Yeah. It does sound literary.
So thank you so much, Callista, for joining our My Worst State family. We are so happy to have you.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the good old Spokane, Washington this week, so I have plenty to share at the end of the episode about what I watched, read, and all the things. But I read literally 2 books. I watched like 5 different things.
Jesus.
Dude, I was like, I'm not leaving my Airbnb. I'm going to sit in my Airbnb.
Yeah, you texted us some horror story.
Yeah, no, and nothing. I mean, Spokane's a great city. So yeah, but it just was like one of those things where it's like the neighborhood I was in was just on the edge
Little
of the
shaky.
sketch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like like literally like 1 block over. It was like fucking the coolest area. It was like real close to the riverfront. But at any rate, so but yeah, I just kind of holed up in my room, and it's funny because Kelly from Boobies and Newbies, you know that
Yes.
she's always I love listening to her podcast, but I actually caught the book that they were reading this week in the descriptor before I listened to it, and I was like,
Ooh.
and so I'm like, I don't like to. It's weird. I know it's a weird thing, but sometimes when they do the show, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to read that book, but I was like, oh, I'm going to read the book this time before I listen, and it was called Faking Miss Right. I kind of liked it.
Oh, send it to me.
It's on Kindle. I
It's
will
on
totally
Kindle?
send it
Okay.
to you.
Who
Yeah.
wrote it?
Oh shoot, sorry, I just put it away.
That's okay.
Faking Ms. Ray. It was actually really fucking good. I flew through it in like a day and a half.
Oh, good.
So it was I really enjoyed it. Oh shoot, I can't, hold on. Sorry, I gotta find it. It's Claire Kingsley.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. It sounded like one that the last time I was on Boobies and Newbies with my other podcast, we read one, and it sounded like one by the same author.
Oh,
and that
okay.
one was pretty good too.
Yeah, I know that she'd said, like, when I listened, that she'd read a few
Yeah.
of her books before, Claire Kingsley. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was good. It was so good that it was like, okay, I'm ready. I need another one.
Nice.
I actually read Beautiful Stranger too. And if you want something fucking hot, good God, that book has maybe some of the best sex scenes
Well,
Ooh.
I have ever read. I was like,
Well,
oh,
okay.
I think we need a round 2 on Boobies and Newbies just
No,
because
hell
I
yeah.
fucking ruined.
yeah, I want to talk about
Listen,
it.
though, like,
That book.
I mean, it wasn't entirely your fault. Because, well, listen, you did want a bodice ripper,
blame
but
her
there
entirely.
are good. I have no doubt that there are like good erotic
Contemporary, I think,
bodice ripper novels. Like,
Let's
I
talk
bet you
to
there are.
Kelly.
I love the will they, won't they,
I
the
do.
contemporary. I love that. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Like, I don't blame you entirely because we
You're
had
so
no way
sweet.
of knowing that there was going to be so much happening. So, guys, if you haven't listened to our episode of Boobies and Newbies, I don't know which one it is, but go back through her archives if you want to hear what we're talking about. But this movie or this book had everything.
Oh, yeah.
It was like fucking. What were there? There was zeppelins.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were vampires.
There
Yeah.
were
There
ghosts.
were ghosts.
There was a werewolf,
There
apparently.
there was a werewolf.
You know what there
was a
wasn't,
lot.
though?
a lot of sex.
Sex.
Yeah. That was
Nope.
the problem.
Nope.
You know what? I've decided because Kelly talks a lot about how she really likes the contemporary novel, and I find myself kind of going toward the contemporary because I love I do love the will they won't they, like that part of the like tension building.
See, I
You-
love
but you
that. I
get
love
that.
that so much that's why like period pieces appeal to me a lot.
I think
just
you'd like
because,
the contemporary
yeah,
ones because I feel like they're a little bit better about.
But no, I hear what you're saying, Christina, because like for me, a lot of those like 18th century novels, like we were talking about, Wuthering Heights is one of my favorite books.
Oh, that's
and
the ultimate one.
I've never read that
that entire book is Will They Won't They.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like more extreme because of the social customs of the time where they're like
Right.
not allowed to either. Whereas
Yeah.
like contemporary, it's like you're allowed to, but is there like is it gonna happen or not?
Well, I think that's
Right.
what some of the books do, kind of like try to put that
element.
into it. Like, ooh, he's my boss. Ooh, I definitely shouldn't. He's my rival. He's my
Sure.
you know,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like they do try to put
I like them
that
both.
elements of the.
I mean,
like I hate this person. You're like, okay,
It's a thin
sure.
line
Sure you
between
do.
love and hate.
Yeah, they do ride that line.
Nice.
Oh yeah, no, but you'll like it. Faking Misery, and then I'm telling you,
Beautiful Strangers.
Beautiful Stranger.
Okay,
It's like
I'm
the
checking it out.
second novel in like a series of novels. It's like Beautiful Bastard, Beautiful, all the beautiful such and suches.
Ooh,
But
okay.
it's the second book, and I'd read the first one like probably like 2 years ago.
My ex
and I kind of was like, meh.
used to tell me all the time that I needed to start writing
Fuck, you
romance
should,
novels.
dude.
Hell yeah.
Dude, if you write something like Beautiful Stranger, I will hawk that shit and quit my job. I'll be like, "Brrr, everybody get the novel. You get the novel.
You're just gonna be a newsie.
Yep,
just
yep,
handing
just
out
hand
papers.
extra.
Read all about it. Oh man.
Oh, well.
Speaking of literary novels.
Ooh, yes. Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yeah,
what are we
should
gonna do?
some guys from? I think we should do guys, male,
Yes.
Male
yeah,
characters.
male
Okay.
characters. Maybe our favorite.
Our summer
for, like,
read
Fuck, Marry, Kills.
series.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
a little summer reading.
Well, we talked about Wuthering Heights. I gotta do Heathcliff. That's like a
she
crush
stole it
from
right out
way
from under
back.
I know, really did.
Keegan,
Really slid in there.
She snuck right under you, snatched it out.
Oh, I don't know.
You know
One of
what?
my-
If that's yours, I actually have.
You have a backup?
I have backup. It's Soup's weird.
Oh.
But I'll throw it in.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm
Oh,
like,
that's like
nervous.
Oliver fucking Twist
You
over
look
here.
terrified.
I know. I'm
so,
nervous.
Okay, so it's technically not a book, but a graphic novel series.
Oh, okay.
It's The Sandman by
Oh,
Neil
okay.
Gaiman.
I've read some of those.
Yes. So Morpheus, King of Dreams.
I don't know. what it
We're
looks
going.
like.
Oh,
All right, I'll look 'em up.
pull them up.
You
yeah.
look them up while I.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for the brooding Morpheus, King of Dreams.
Okay.
I am. I'm such a dork.
Yeah.
It's a very dorky choice.
Okay.
I'm sticking with it. There
All
you
right. And then are you doing?
Yeah, I'll do Heathcliff then. Yes.
Right on. I've never read Wuthering Heights, but I've seen that movie in
Oh, have
a few
you?
old iterations, so I think
Okay.
I can keep
go.
up.
Yes.
Okay, so my favorite literary male character is actually from Great Expectations.
Is it Pip?
Of course
Pip
it's Pip.
was my backup. That was who I was going to pick
But-
if I didn't do Heathcliff.
I don't think he is who I'm going to choose. It is my
Okay,
favorite male literary
okay.
character. It is. Great Expectations is one of my favorite books.
So good.
Ever. Ooh, I like him.
He's
I
a
like
little,
his-
he's a little
he is-
Cure-ish.
He's
Do you know-
very Cure.
Doesn't he look like he's from The Cure?
For sure looks like he's from The Cure. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about his character though.
Yeah.
So that's
He's very brooding. He's very responsible. He goes through his character arc of learning how to let go of his duty and actually like he finds
What is
humanity.
his duty?
He
Sorry.
runs the Kingdom of Dreams.
Okay.
So like his sister who you see pictured there is Death. It was modeled after Tori Amos, I think, actually.
Oh,
Oh.
even better. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to fuck all this up.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been talking about fuck me books, and I'm going to fucking go Christian Grey. I know. Hot fucking take. Bum, 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 bum.
This is the most amazing fuck, marry, kill ever. We have Christian Grey from 50 Shades. We have the Sandman from the graphic novels, and we have fucking Heathcliff
This is
from
impossible.
Wuthering.
Like, You know what? Like, this is impossible to me, and like not in the good way that I usually am. Like, this is impossible.
No, let's break them down because each of the three characters, if I'm going to be honest, they're all three problematic.
Yes.
Who the fuck do you marry out of those? Because they're all anti-heroes.
I think I want to go last on this one because I needed to hear more about Morpheus.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Although I do love that like Arcade Fire song.
Well, okay. I'm going to. This is gonna unpopular opinion. Oof.
Do it, girl. Mine's gonna be an unpopular opinion. I fucking threw out Christian Grey.
Oh my gosh, this is really hard. I cannot believe him.
Do it, girl.
Okay, I'm going to marry Heathcliff. Okay. He is problematic, but his anger, I feel like, just stems from the fact that he loves me so much.
Which is
that sounds
it's
problematic.
So problematic.
It's insane, and I don't like
it's
that.
Insane. I want to live on the moors. I don't know. That book put such a print on my heart at such an early age that
I read it.
Kind of fucked me up in relationships a little bit.
I read that book and I was so sad when I was done reading it that this is like an embarrassing young person thing to do because I was probably like 15. I slept with it in my bed for the next like 3 nights.
Yeah,
sweet. Because I want it to end.
It's
I loved that book so much.
I mean,
now I gotta read it.
Yeah,
I own it.
You're gonna be like, yeah, like especially the ending. You're like, wait, what?
What happened across the room?
Maybe as an adult, I think if I was reading it as a first time as an adult, I'd be like, what in the fucking fuck? But to read it at like an impressionable age,
maybe you should just skip it.
Yeah,
skip it.
Yeah.
We'll just watch the movie again.
Yeah,
but admire it from afar.
Exactly. Yeah. But then I think I'm going to fuck an otherworldly being. I'm going to fuck Morpheus. Okay. I really am. He's got that like gothic trench coat kind of sad boy vibe that I love.
A sad boy.
I love a sad boy. And Christian Grey is a sad boy too.
Yeah,
but
they're all sad boys.
Morpheus,
like
he's not human.
He's got Glenn Danzig
thing going on. He can do other
go
things.
For the otherworldly.
Yes.
I mean, he's got a Glenn Danzig thing going on.
Yeah.
Little
okay.
misfits.
So I don't know. You did throw a wrench in it for me because I was like, man, yeah, I'll fucking.
Let's just go with the easy one. We know you're going to kill Christian Grey.
Well, okay. Okay. Yes, I think I am.
I know you are. You hate him so bad.
I really, really do. And like, I see.
You loathe the character. I know.
Just
and I
hate him.
Do you know what
so
I wish?
Much.
I really wish that
he's problematic as fuck.
Dude Face from Sons of Anarchy had played him.
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, my birthday twin.
He's hot.
It's your birthday. I feel like we should know each other.
I will say that Jamie Dornan. So nice. Jamie Dornan. If we want to talk problematic characters. Jamie Dornan in The Fall.
Oh well, shit.
Oh my
That's
god!
Totally
I felt so bad for like
right?
being very turned on when he was on screen.
Dude,
I was like,
it's the least feminist thing I've ever done. Is be like, I'm so
between like him and Gillian Anderson in that film. I was like, oh
she's
my,
hot.
She is so flipping hot in that.
Dude, if we do some Old Spice women at some point. She's got to be on that fucking list.
Their sexual tension too in that is like,
yeah,
and you know they're never gonna fuck, but you're like. The sexual tension is at 11.
Yeah.
But
this one goes all the way to 11.
Yeah. I don't like the Christian Grey character. I just don't like him.
That's fine.
So I'm probably gonna kill him. I mean, I get it. Hot, kinky, seems cool. But no, I'm gonna kill him. I think mine's gonna be the same as yours, to be honest. Because I think of the two, I'm not gonna marry Morpheus because I've read a handful of those and I really enjoy them.
Yeah, things don't happen well for his wives.
And
actually,
he's too sad. Like there's like a level of sad that I'm just like I can't get beyond this. Like, God, melancholy. You know, I'm just like that. I can't marry you.
He's soups sad.
Too sad.
He's a Cure song.
I mean, he's almost too sad. He's almost too sad to fuck, honestly. Oh. Like that's what threw a wrench in it for me. Is like I hate Christian Grey, but he'd probably be more fun for a night but I just can't get around it. So
I just feel like if you fuck Morpheus, like you
You're
get
gonna
to see
see
the
into
end
other
of time.
worlds.
You know what I mean?
True.
You're like on a different parallel.
True.
Like,
Okay.
fuck, when do I
Fair.
land?
You're like, I've split into 9 million pieces.
And, you know, Heathcliff, while problematic, certainly, I feel like it's not as much that, like, Heathcliff is problematic, although he is, as it is that their relationship is super, super toxic.
It's toxic.
So it's like, maybe
He's
if
got
you get
anger
him-
issues.
I mean, for sure, but like maybe if you get him into a healthier environment,
I could change him.
you know,
I could change him.
maybe I can fix Heathcliff, you know, like maybe I can get him into some, you know, anger management therapy. We can work through this together. You just need to see a psychologist.
I think it's kind of funny that we all picked fix me ups.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of men.
fixer-uppers.
I feel like there are a lot of fixer-upper men in literature, though.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big part of it. I mean, Pip is also like, you know, he's got that unrequited puppy dog sad boy love thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I should have chose Pip.
No.
No, this is good.
It's
This was
good.
This made it hard.
Yeah, I
honestly,
like the
because
hard
I
one.
was like, I cannot kill Morpheus, but I came soups close because I was like, I would really enjoy fucking.
Christian
Yeah.
Grey
What
has some
if
toys that, you know.
I fucked both Christian Grey and
No,
Morpheus.
that's not how this works.
That's not how this
You
works.
yelled at us last time when we went to friend Mr. Rogers. Remember this?
Yes, you did this
Remember
to
this?
us.
You did
said
this.
no.
You.
But yeah, so I think I'm gonna go with that. You did make it harder because if you'd picked Pip, I would have married
marry Pip.
Yeah, you know,
Perfect.
So you did make it harder, and by you picking Morpheus, even though I love those books, and his physical appearance is exactly what I would have gone for in like
Yeah.
high
You're
school.
like,
Yeah.
18-year-old me wants him so hard.
Yeah.
But you know, I came super close to killing him and picking Christian Grey, but I'm gonna stick with my guns on it.
All right, guys. So I just want this to be on the record as saying, like, I get it that E.L. James is not a literary masterpiece, and I feel like we've talked about this before.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though I need to come back and say that Charles Dickens' Great Expectations is one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
And I can understand the difference between a well-written book and a book that makes me want to fuck everything alive.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
I
love
just in the essence of in the defense of
right.
E.L. James and 50 Shades. Look, we all get it. He is a problematic character. There's been a lot of fucking shitty ass
they're all
problematic
But they're
characters
all like
written
Heathcliff,
throughout time.
Morpheus.
Yes,
yeah.
they're all problematic.
Yeah.
I will not marry Christian Grey, but I am gonna fuck him.
Bow, chicken, bow.
I am gonna fuck him. He's gonna want to marry me, but I'm just gonna fuck him.
Well, yeah, you're not
I love
as
that
dumb
song.
as Anastasia, so
No,
you're
no.
fine.
He couldn't handle it.
No, he will. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be writing me letters still, and I'll be like,
He'll
"Sir."
zombie. He'll show
a
up.
zombie.
He'll
I'll
be like,
"Sir,
You up? Yeah,
oh yeah,
I can
sir,
come pick you up in my helicopter.
sir." No,
No.
ugh.
He can buy me an Audi, though.
Yeah,
I mean, Christian Grey could be a good sugar daddy.
you guys have
possibly.
really sold Morpheus and Heathcliff so well that I kind of just want to stay single if that's honest.
Play the field, really, like-
I don't want to marry either of them.
I'm a little nervous.
I don't like you with either of them, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't like sad people.
No.
Oh no, and you and Heathcliff would just throw things
Well, I
at each
probably
other.
Oh my
them.
God.
Which would be bad.
It really would be the most volatile.
Yes.
You know
thing
what? I
ever.
could put up with a Christian Grey because he'd think he had control over me, but secretly we would know, just like everything, I would be
You
topping
could
from bottom.
you could probably put him in his place.
I like you married to him, actually.
I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna top him from the bottom.
You got it.
And
Listen, just
I
make sure
love that.
before you get into
I
it.
love that.
Before
You
you
like
get
that for
into
me?
it,
Yeah.
just make sure that
He
you
knows. He knows who's in charge here.
don't have an insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
If he falls out of a helicopter,
really?
he falls out of a
Heathcliff?
helicopter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Morpheus. Calm down.
Just
Insurance policies.
Yeah.
No.
Just saying.
Okay, well, and in that case, then I'm gonna fuck Morpheus because I agree. I feel like it's a different plane.
Yeah.
I'm here for the Morpheus. Plus two, it really hits that Danzig like misfits bone
yeah,
for me. That punk life bone.
It is punk. It's I mean, it was written in the very late 80s in New York.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
got
I
you
feel
all
like
over it.
Morpheus is who I'm going to fuck.
I
Yeah.
see that.
And
It's okay.
I think we know that I'm going to kill Heathcliff.
I think
we knew
you
this.
would even if it wasn't
push
on
him off
purpose.
the moors.
Yeah,
I would.
You
I'd be
two,
like, oh, what? He fell.
you two are gonna get to fighting.
Has
and then,
anybody
like,
seen Heathcliff? I've
Yeah.
not seen him for days.
Brilliant.
Listen,
And
people
then
died
till the
all.
Dateline starts.
People
is
died
my
all the
phone
time
call.
back then.
Yeah.
They just
That's
fell
right.
off their horses, broke their backs.
It's
it
weird.
could happen
Broke
in any
necks.
number of
I mean,
ways.
Yeah. Scarlet fever. Who
Sure.
knows?
Yes. The plague took him.
I mean,
Yeah.
prove he didn't.
Well, that was very tough, but
was a ride.
you guys want to take 5 and come back with stories?
Yes.
All right.
And we're back. All right, let's
Yes.
dive into some stories, shall we?
Yes.
All right, I go first this week since I have the crazy in love.
Okay.
This was sent to our email. Hey, ladies. I'm a longtime listener and first-time submitter to the podcast, and I look forward to new episodes every week.
Aw, yay.
I'm a 20-something guy living in a larger Midwestern city, and I've been in the lawless wilderness that is post-college dating
Oh God.
for the past 2 years. During this time, I've had dates with people from most of the major dating sites, excluding Plenty of Fish. I agree with you guys. That place is seriously the worst.
Frightening.
Frightening.
Yeah.
Nightmares.
Good to hear it on both sides. Yeah.
And I've collected some interesting stories I'd love to share. Why couldn't I say stories? Today, I have a double header for you guys.
Uh-oh.
A bad date and a shame receipt.
Ooh.
He does say, feel free to use my name. Okay. The bad date happened last summer and was prefaced by a variety of red flags that I either didn't see initially or rationalized away while trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt. I matched with a girl on Tinder, and after talking for a bit, we exchanged numbers and made plans to meet up for drinks that Thursday. Thursday comes, and I arrive and grab a table, and shortly after, my date arrives and joins me. She sits down, and I notice that my date doesn't look all that put together. Now, I don't have any expectation for a woman to dress a certain way or put on a face of makeup for a date if that's not her thing. But I approach a date, especially a first date, wanting to project the best version of myself.
And we've talked about that a lot.
We have. And I'd like my date to do the same, whatever that looks like for them.
Right.
I
So,
agree.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If like wearing a full face of makeup isn't your thing, that's fine. You know, just
Being
maybe,
clean.
Maybe have a clean shirt on.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
wash your body and your hair. That'd be great.
Oh, no.
My date's hair looked greasy and not recently washed.
Oh my God, is he dating me right now? That's exactly what I look
You
like.
just like roll off this chair and walk in.
Yeah, I
Put
walked
on
to the
some
date
flip
right
flops.
now.
Hi.
Her makeup was either poorly applied or old and in the process of coming off.
Ooh.
That's me right now. That's my face. And she was dressed overly casual for the occasion: capri length leggings, worn flats, and a rhinestone covered T-shirt.
And here we go. And then he's got me. So there we go.
So you have a combination of all three of us. End of the day,
Yeah.
like end of. But if any one of us was getting ready to go on a date, like,
No,
Oh,
that's not
we
how
all
I'm
know.
coming.
Yeah,
0%.
that's not how I'm going.
First of all, a rhinestone shirt would never be me.
No. Yeah, I was just like, oh, capri length leggings and just a
Khaki
comfy
shirt.
T-shirt or whatever.
You would
like I would never wear
first of all,
this on a date.
You do look cute, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't
Thank
wear
you.
that on a first date. Like,
no,
you know,
no. This is soups cash,
This is
Christina.
like meeting at a coffee shop, is what this is.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
going to a dinner.
Even if I was
Yeah.
meeting a guy for the first time at a coffee shop, I still, and you know, I love athleisure wear for just
Yeah.
lounging.
Yeah.
For lounging.
Even not working out, just like kicking it on the couch watching Netflix.
Yeah.
But or running errands. But
Yeah.
I would change into
I
jeans.
don't do leggings for a first date.
Bare
No.
mins.
Yeah.
Bare mins. Okay. So he says, we were at a place that specializes in craft hard cider and doubles as a restaurant. Not the height of sophistication, I know, but come on. Conversation was average, but what I remember most is this weird thing my date would do. Whenever I was talking, she would maintain normal eye contact, but whenever it was her turn to speak, she would shift her gaze up and behind me and hold on that spot until she was finished talking. I turned around and looked to see
Is she
if there
breaking
was-
the fourth wall?
It's weird, right? Yeah, like I'm like, that is
She's
weird.
Fleabag.
Yes.
If I was talking to someone and they kept doing that,
You'd be like,
Who are you talking to?
are you? What?
There's somebody behind me.
Is
Should
there
I be
a
frightened?
bug? Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
He says, I turned around and looked to see if there was anything more interesting behind me when she got up to use the bathroom. There wasn't, unless conversation with me is less entertaining than a brick wall.
Oh.
After the date,
Or she could be like me and have like kind of like crossed eyes and be really terrible at holding eye contact.
oh no.
Oh no.
After the date, we went our separate ways, and I remember feeling ambivalent about whether or not I wanted to see her again, as my powers of judgment and perception for dates weren't as attuned as they are now. She seemed nice enough, and maybe I just caught her on a hectic day, and she hadn't had time to properly prepare for the date. Maybe she was nervous, whatever. That's so
this
sweet.
guy's so
Yeah.
nice.
I guess I could see that.
Like, I like it.
You had a really hectic day. You know you need to meet this person. Rather than rescheduling, you're like, I guess I'll just go in what I was wearing to run errands. Okay.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's a nice thing to give her that kind of benefit of the doubt. The next day, I come home from work, and before I decide what I want to do for my night, I get a text from my date asking if I want to hang out. I agree and invite her to my place to watch a movie, and a short while later, she shows up looking about the same as she did the previous day. Greasy hair, poorly applied / not fresh makeup, leggings, and a t-shirt and flats. The outfit I didn't mind as much this time since we were just watching a movie. We sit down and turn on Moonrise Kingdom, and after about 5 minutes of watching, I get a whiff of an unpleasant odor. I don't think it's me since I took time to freshen up before my date came over. So I do a quick scan of our immediate area to see what the culprit is, and that's when I see it. She had worn her shoes inside and taken them off next to the couch where we were sitting. And in that moment, I knew beyond a doubt that the smell was from a combination of her feet / shoes.
I am every cell in my body.
You know
is
those
cringing.
You're
I
locked,
know those
and
shoes.
you're locked into
I know
a
those that
movie.
smell.
Keep them on.
Oh no.
No.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, when I was reading this the first time, I was like, there are a few things worse, like really bad breath and really bad feet shoe smell.
I got you on that. When I worked for the place that I worked for, we had a co-ed changing room where all 20s, all kind of sexually active. And there was one day where a girl who shall not be named came in changing and a dirty vagina smell. It's the worst. We all know the like old sex vagina smell.
I mean, to be honest, like old dick smell.
Yeah.
isn't
Old dick
good
smell
either.
isn't good, but
I was in a
old
fucking
vagina.
I was in an
is-
Uber ride that had old dick smell. I was like, yep. I'm like, dude, you did not have sex, or you did not shower.
You
after
did
that
not,
last
yeah,
sex
and
capade.
exactly, and you're like, this is ode to old sex.
Ode to last
right?
night.
This is not a good vintage.
Oh no, I don't like that. I don't
No,
like
it's-
that. I
it's
mean,
not buttery
yeah,
enough.
I mean that's true. There have been.
Oaked.
I think everyone has been there, like when they've gone camping and they've just gotten home from going camping, and you get in the shower and you're just like,
Ugh.
You're like,
Jesus
this is what I
Christ.
smelled like.
Like,
Oh my
yes.
god.
Yeah, you
It's
take
like
off your
it's like
underwear.
it's like a mixture of
like-
like gorgonzola and campfire.
Oh no.
Oh, I hate that.
I don't like that.
I don't like any
I
of
don't
those.
like that.
She got the Frito feet going. Anyway,
Frito Feet. I'm fucking dying right now.
I'm sorry. That's hilarious.
Frito Feet.
I know exactly what that smells like too. Like
old corn chips.
that's awful. That's awful. Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh.
Whew.
All
For
right.
the next 90 minutes, I tried my best to breathe through my mouth so I didn't have to smell it. And I even faked having to go to the bathroom so I could strategically sit farther away from her when I returned so the smell wouldn't reach me. Neither of these solutions worked. I shut down all attempts at making any conversation with my date, as I just wanted the movie to be over for her to leave since I was so grossed out. The movie ends, and in an attempt to get her to leave, I remark on how tired I am. It was only around 7 or 8 p.m., so I probably needed a better excuse.
Oh no.
But instead of getting up to leave, she walks over to my bed, lays on her back, looks at me, and says, "Yeah, I'm really tired too," in a way that left little room for interpretation as to what she really meant.
Dude, I'm in love with this guy. This is hilarious. And honestly, like, here's what I think. if that's how someone's feet smell.
No, I'm not going anywhere. And they've shown up greasy and in old clothes both the times. Like that, you're going to get those sweatpants off and it's going to be it's going to be like Chernobyl in there. Chernobyl. We can't go there. Like, no.
Oh, no. She's like, it's a government conspiracy. I took a bath. It's a government conspiracy.
Oh, that's awful.
My God.
Oh, God. It's terrible. I figure I'm already in too deep with my tired excuse, so I double down, start rubbing my head, and tell her I have a migraine and I really want to go to bed.
Oh,
Thankfully,
geez.
my plan worked this time, and she got up and left, and we haven't talked since. Okay. The shame receipt happened just a few weeks ago at a wedding reception of a close family friend. Which wedding ones?
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
send us
Yes.
all of your wedding stories.
So many wedding stories, please.
I was seated at a table with other people my age, most of whom I knew. There was one girl I didn't, and she was on a date with another friend of mine who I don't see often. Normally, I'm not the outgoing type, but I was in a good mood and had had a couple drinks, so I figured I'd be social that night. I sit down next to her at our table and introduce myself. I don't remember exactly what she said in response, but it wasn't the normal, nice to meet you, my name's X response you usually get. It was something that made her seem confused, and she didn't tell me her name. I didn't think much of it as the interaction only lasted a few seconds, and I thought maybe she was just shy and the rest of the reception was a great time. On the car ride home, my mom and sister are talking about the night, and my friend and his date come up. As soon as they say her name, it hits me like a bolt of lightning. I know this girl from somewhere. My heart racing, I re-downloaded Coffee Meets Bagel. What is that?
No, that's
like
a
a Reddit
Dating
app.
app?
Oh, it's
Coffee Meets Bagel.
I
It's
thought
a
it was
dating app.
Oh.
Yeah. It's specifically for like
Just
coffee
going
meetups.
to coffee dates. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah.
I re-download Coffee Meets Bagel, praying it isn't so. I scroll through the list of my matches until I find who I'm looking for, and my stomach drops. It's the same girl. We had gone on not one, but 2 dates around January/February of 2018. And while it didn't end up working out, things ended on good terms between us. And I had forgotten who she was and reintroduced myself to her like a complete idiot. I've done that. I mean, not dating, but yes. But like and it is
Awful.
That
Yeah.
shit will wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I tell my mom and my sister the story, and my mom tells me, yeah, friend's mom said date came up to her and said she knew you and that you'd gone out and that she didn't know what to say to you. So my friend's date definitely recognized me, which explains her confused response to me introducing myself to her. I text my friend and tell him the situation and ask him to pass my apologies on to his date. My friend said it was fine and that his date wasn't offended, but that didn't really make me feel any better.
Oh, no.
To top it all off, my sister is getting married later this summer, and my friend and his date will most likely be attending. Oh, so they are like a legit deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
He's going to marry this girl, and you're going to
Yep.
have to deal
Go
with
to
this for the
that
rest of
wedding.
your life.
Yep. Pretty much.
He says, cheers. On that note, I love the podcast. You all are hilarious and great to listen to. And like Christina, I've recently deleted all of the apps and am going into the world doing the damn thing.
Yes.
Let's go, Christina. We got this.
Alex. Oh my God. I love that. Oh
Thank
my
you
God.
so much, Alex. Story.
Alex, this is great. Oh my God. Have you met my friend Alex?
Yes.
Ladies.
We need shirts. You know what we need like the have you met my friend fill in
Just
the blank,
blank.
shirt.
Oh my God,
Yes.
blank.
Yes.
Oh my
You know what? It can be
God.
like I had a Trapper Keeper in middle school. Like there were the T-shirts and the Trapper Keepers that were huge when I was in middle school, where you could buy it. It had the Velcro on it.
Yeah.
And then you had all the letters. You could like Velcro whatever message you wanted.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
We're doing that.
Oh, I have a quick corrections from last week.
Sure.
Because my friend Sienna, whose birthday is today, happy birthday.
Oh my God. Happy birthday,
yes.
Sienna.
So she was like, where is there a Friendlies? I've never heard of Friendlies
Oh,
in
really?
Springfield, Missouri, where we're from. And I'm like, no, I bought a chicken in a Friendlies parking lot. Like, what are you talking about? Then I Googled it. It's Freddy's. But in my defense, it's like one of those places where the font is like
The same.
exactly the same.
Oh.
But it's Freddy's is like steak burgers and frozen custard. And I It's still very Midwestern, and I did buy a chicken there. So anyway,
there you go.
Okay. She's like, bitch, where's there a fucking Friendly's?
She's
right
like, I think you're lying.
you
I've never heard of this place.
Oh,
You're
brilliant.
like, fake news.
You're like, no, I really did buy a chicken.
That happened.
Okay, mine came in through email as well, and mine is a little bit of an update.
Oh, I like it.
So she says, hi, ladies. My friend has written in a couple times to you guys and is always so excited to show me when you guys air her stories.
Yay!
Your last episode, you aired her story about her ex-boyfriend and his 5 other girlfriends.
I love that. I love that. The one who had the meeting point in the center.
That was like last week. Yeah.
She mentioned his halfway point girlfriend in the episode and then mentioned the same girl cheating with her best friend's boyfriend and ended up marrying her. Well, I'm the best friend, and I figured you guys would enjoy my story.
Yes.
God. Full circle.
I love
will
it.
enjoy your story.
So, I met my ex at a camp one summer. We were just friends, and I didn't think anything of him in a romantic way. Towards the beginning of the summer the following year, we randomly start DMing more and get to know each other better. He had a girlfriend and was having some issues. So he would ask me for some advice from an objective third party. And I as well asking him for advice about this guy I'd liked for a while.
I got all the side eye for this.
Pinning this, that was so common in my 20s.
Yes.
I can't even.
Yes.
That was like legitimately the thing that you did when you were like
100%.
interested in somebody, but you weren't. Yep. Like you wouldn't break up with what you had going on, but you were just like, hey. And it was like a way to connect.
Advice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I have side eye
for
for it.
sure.
40-year-old me is like,
Absolutely. It's so transparent as you get older. You're like, yeah.
Right. But it's the perfect like 20s way to like connect with somebody.
So true. You're like, you might be a good prospect later.
Exactly. Let's see
just put you
if
in my
I
back
can
pocket.
if I can leapfrog into something else. She says a few weeks went by. We were talking a lot, flirting a bit, and we're helping each other through some rough points. I had gone off to the camp to do some counseling, and on my travels to camp, I found out my cat had passed away.
Oh,
So that night he called me, and we stayed on the phone all night talking, and then he would check in on me the entire time I was counseling.
that's sweet, though.
So he's like opening up his emotions,
Yep.
like sharing these issues he's having in his relationship, and then also console. I'm like, girl, I'm right there with you. I fell in love with him.
I fell
I'm
for it.
already in there.
I already
Yep.
fell for it.
Yep.
You're emotionally vulnerable. Your
Yep.
cat just died. You're around screaming children.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Already fell for it.
Yep. She says, I got back from camp and we were even more flirty. We constantly FaceTime, chatted on the phone, texted, did the typical good morning and good night text.
Oh, shit. That's how you know shit's real.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, if
You might as well have made that Facebook official.
honestly, like, if you are the first thing somebody is thinking of when they roll over in bed, like,
I'm in love. I'm literally in love because communication's like my big thing. And this guy is like opening up emotionally. And then also like when
There
you
for
wake
you.
up and when you go to
gotcha.
sleep,
Yeah.
he's
like a
got
bear
me.
trap.
He's got me. This guy had also just started his first week at college and was nervous because he didn't know anyone. I sent him gifts and encouraging texts so he didn't feel lonely. Oh my God. Are you me like a decade ago? She says, I later started seeing him post pictures and some other kids post pictures of him with this girl. And other people and mentioned something to him about it. He said she's an interesting girl. And as the days went by, constantly
What the fuck
started.
does that mean?
Interesting.
Exactly. He constantly
like,
started
mad for
telling
her.
me how annoying and clingy she was.
We've also discussed this where, like, for me, that's a red flag. Like, I don't like it when, like, you're still giving her your time.
Right.
So then you're going to come and, like, complain about her to me? Or, like,
Right.
people who only have negative shit to say about
So like
other
either
people
you're-
they dated,
either
like, I
you're
don't like it.
lying, either you're fake, or like it's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line between love and hate.
Yeah, because you care about her enough to keep fucking talking about her.
Exactly.
Oh,
A few
yeah.
weeks go by again, and I started noticing him pulling away and not being as annoyed with this girl as much. In fact, he was starting to hang out with her more. This was hard for me because I was 12 hours away and couldn't do anything about it. So not only that's hard.
Well, you've
in
added
itself.
you've added long distance onto it, which
yeah,
is
an early 20s relationship. I'm like
in college.
in
Like
college.
you've added in so many elements. Like
Layers.
this would be a difficult
I'm
thing
like-
to maintain for anybody.
I could sext with you on the phone, or I
And
can
sex.
real sex. This one
Yeah.
over here. Yeah. When I mentioned I didn't want him hanging out with her because she was bad news, he said to me I had nothing to worry about. Yeah, right.
Oh,
Okay.
listen,
Sir.
That's never the response.
Sir.
Like if your girlfriend says like, I don't really feel comfortable with you hanging out with this person on your own or like whatever, your response should not be, baby, you don't have anything to worry about. Your response should just be like, okay, if it makes you that uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah. Or you know what? Like, I'm not comfortable with you like crossing this boundary and I think we should break up.
Or that.
Those are the two responses that you
Absolutely.
have that are
Absolutely.
legitimately like
but
adult
you have
responses.
nothing to worry about is so like it is
Gaslighting.
gaslighting. It is.
It is. It's
yeah.
totally that. Yeah. So
You're overreacting. You're being
you're
crazy. About this.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
Listen.
I'm not fucking crazy.
And it turns out she was not.
She was not. Yeah. He continued to hang out with her, posting stuff on his social media with her, and told me that he had some quote unquote, this is the best quote ever, unwanted physical contact from her. Okay.
What does that mean, sir?
Oh,
I'm going to need you to be more specific.
Yeah. And she was constantly coming on to him. I got tired of hearing about
Then
this.
stop fucking hanging out with
Exactly.
her.
If
a
it's
man,
truly unwanted,
right.
This is simple.
If a man gave me unwanted physical contact, I'm never like purposefully hanging out with that person.
You're never alone with that person
again,
ever.
yeah,
Like why
yeah, lies. Lies. I got tired of hearing about this, and no matter what I said, he wouldn't listen to me. And finally, we broke up. Not long after we called it quits, they ended up making it official. And then that summer got engaged a little before a year of meeting each other. And only 1 month of being engaged, they got married.
Oh, I want to know how this turned out.
It's almost been a year.
Oh my God.
And from the random things I see when I stalk them on social media, me too, girl.
Yeah,
me,
we all,
hashtag
we all
me too.
do it. We don't,
Yeah,
need, we don't need to act like
We
we're
do.
bigger than that.
No,
Nope.
we're not.
We're not.
I still
No one is.
do. Yeah, exactly. They're still together and love each other. So ... I guess that's good.
I mean,
I know how you feel.
But
girl.
here's the thing also, like, yeah, cool that they're still together. I'm not trying to be a cynic here, but all in all, they've been together for less than 2 years because they got
Right.
engaged and married less than a year
Yep.
into knowing each other,
Yep.
and then they've been married for a year. So
And
they're
I think
still
I'm
in.
assuming a certain age group. So I mean, don't hold your breath, girl.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't have
still
high hopes
in
for
like
this one.
early phases of their relationship, really.
Well, and it
Right.
started out very shady too. He was clearly dating a couple of people at
Right.
the same time. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that throws the red flags for me.
Here is my favorite part.
Oh.
Did she have a camo wedding dress? Because that's what I'm picturing.
Oh my God.
No?
Oh my
No. The humor in this situation for me, and this is why I'm in love with this girl. I love you. I want to tell you how much I love you because this is so something that I would feel in my heart, and God bless you for sharing this. The humor in this situation for me, and my friend will agree, is that this girl has a big ass wart above her lip. You can't miss it when you kiss her. And now this dumbass gets to kiss that big ass wart for the rest of his life.
Oh my God. Wait, is it a wart or a mole?
A wart is what she
so
said.
weird. What?
And I'm like, I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it's so fucking.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Keegan and I are over here like, yay.
I know
That's so.
no, but I mean, I feel that too. I mean, granted,
Because you're just
like
looking
given,
right. You're
given
like, fuck
my,
you, bitch.
given my situation,
Yeah.
okay, so I have an ex, and it's a thing. there is like that last paragraph
Yes.
struck
girl,
home
we've
for
all
me.
felt that.
Right.
We've
No,
all
no, no.
felt
We've
that where
all
you're like,
felt
oh,
that.
I'm so glad you're happy. I'm so glad you're happy. Enjoy kissing that wart.
Because,
you know what I mean?
Because the thing is,
You know?
it's not
Yeah.
about the wart itself. It's always about like,
Yes.
you have to, we all do it.
Yeah.
You have to find something.
Yeah.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
We all like to act like we're above it, but we're
Right.
not.
We're
Like
not.
we always do that thing where we're like, yeah, but I'm better. So you're
Exactly.
a fucking loss.
You're
Like-
fucking lost.
Yeah.
Exactly. And dude, yeah, the wart, it just made me, it made me love her. She says, anyways, thank you for reading this story. I hope you enjoyed it and can have a good laugh. Love you ladies and your podcast.
I love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
She's
Thank
the perfect
you.
amount of snark for our podcast. I like it.
I love it.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So our story also came from an email that we got. And the subject is called, I'm going to skip the subject. I'm just going to go right into it.
Great.
All right. So I found this guy on Tinder. He was totally my type. We had awesome conversation and had a lot in common. He told me he did not have social media. Uh-oh, red flag. And I didn't really think anything of it. He also told me that he takes care of his disabled friend and works a full-time job. After 2 weeks of talking, I told him that I wanted to meet. Sorry, got a text over it. I told him I wanted to meet him. So we agreed to meet at a local bar at 8 p.m. That night was pouring rain. I got there 15 minutes early, 7:45, to have a drink and calm my nerves.
15 minutes early.
That's smart.
That's
how you
wise.
do. That's how you do. 15
Yeah.
minutes early, grab that cocktail, get
Yeah.
I
it
love
started.
someone in our Facebook group posted that thing of that like thing BBC thing where that British woman was sitting there, and I love that part where it's like an internal monologue and she's like,
Oh.
I shouldn't have gotten here so early, and then she's like, no, better to be early than to be scanning looking for him. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You get there first, let him find you.
Let him find
see,
you.
I'm the opposite.
Oh, yeah?
I have been both now, and I am firmly more comfortable with letting them get there first and making an
Really?
entrance.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to walk in this room.
I'm gonna walk in this room because I want you to see
Everybody turn their
everybody
heads.
turn
Yes.
and look at me.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mama's gonna make an entrance.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, you're gonna feel
Okay.
those eyes, and you're gonna feel, and then yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
that's
Fair enough,
that's
fair
how
enough.
I roll.
All right, I like
Everybody do you. You know, you
I-
gotta do you.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
15 minutes pass. It's 8 p.m. and he is still not there. So I get another drink. Another 15 minutes go by. 8:15, and he still did not show up.
So you're there for half an hour at this point.
Yeah.
By yourself.
So I left. I texted him and I said, just forget it. I left mad, angry, and hurt. I called my friend and told her to get dressed. We're going out. Girl, that's right. That is
Oh,
damn
that is
right.
damn right. And
You got
for
ready?
anybody that stands anyone up, by the way, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Because I feel like that's even worse than ghosting to me.
You
I'm
let
just
me
like,
sit at a fucking bar
you-
by myself.
You
Ugh.
fucking
Oh, it's
asshole.
it's way worse. Like I had to drive somewhere. I
Yeah.
had to probably rush home from work, get ready, take a
Yeah.
fucking shower
Yeah.
because I don't want to.
Frito Feet.
Yeah.
That's literally the title of this episode.
So good. As I'm sitting in my friend's driveway waiting for her, he texted me. He said, sorry, I got a new debit card and locked myself out of the card using the wrong PIN number. So I was on the phone with the company trying to get them to unlock it, but was unable to unlock him.
That is the
That's
just
a dumb
absolute
excuse.
Yeah.
lamest fucking excuse.
You
for,
may have well said you like locked your
do
keys
you
in the
know
car.
that
That would
you
have been a
can
better
be
one.
on the phone with somebody and
And
send a
text.
text at the
Well, I
same
mean,
time
especially-
simultaneously?
Especially since we know that the fucking bank keeps you on hold for how long?
Forever.
You can put that shit on speaker,
Right.
Yep.
and do
Text
whatever
me.
else
Do
you want.
whatever.
Yeah.
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 Bullshit.
What you're saying is I'm not important enough to do
Yes.
that for.
Yeah.
Okay. Speakerphone, not important enough. I have never used the wrong PIN on a card to get locked out, so I didn't know if that was how it worked or not. I replied, well, come meet me out. He then tells me that his cat ran away and he has to go find him. Okay.
I want to light
This
this
is a
guy
bad
on
day for
fire.
you. Is Mercury in retrograde for you? You
Yeah.
fucking like got locked out of your
Yeah.
debit card and your cat ran away on the same night.
A lot of shit's happening, sir. Maybe
Get
we
the
just
fuck
reschedule.
out.
Check your horoscope and reschedule.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I told him once he finds his cat, he should come out, giving him one last chance. He didn't reply for some time. Now
you
it's about
find your
11 p.m. and he says he's finally found his cat. I said, great, come on out.
I love it that this cat was like, first of all, fuck you. I'll get back on my own time.
11 p.m. Oh, I'm home.
What's up, dude?
I gave him the address of the bar that we were at. So a little time goes by. My friend and I are playing a game with the bartender, and we were the only ones in the bar. All of a sudden, I get a hug from behind. I look over my shoulder and I screeched. This was not the guy in the pictures. He sat down next to me and said, "Hi, I'm Mike." My friend and I looked at him with confused looks on our faces. I went to the bathroom. While in the bathroom, he had the audacity to order himself a drink from my money. I got back and turned to him and said, "So..."
Well, his debit card wasn't working.
Oh,
in his
right.
defense.
Yeah. Cool.
So you look nothing like your pictures you
Way
posted
to
on
go,
Tinder.
calling that shit out.
Yes.
Well, you bought him a drink, so he better answer your fucking
He tells
questions.
me,
Shit.
he tells me he had his appendix removed and had a heart attack. He's 27. Okay.
So that alters your facial
so pin in
features?
that because my husband's had a heart attack at a young age.
Right,
Because
yeah,
of
yeah.
some issues. You didn't know this?
No. I
Oh, okay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like he had virus young. Anyway. So it's not impossible to have
happen.
a heart attack.
Not
at 27.
impossible.
However, a heart attack does not change your looks.
Chris
Yeah.
still looks like
He
Chris.
still looks like Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny
like
enough,
that shit doesn't.
Same
it's not.
look, same guy.
It doesn't turn you into a Picasso painting.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like
Nope.
come
Not
the
a
fuck
Monet.
on.
No.
Yeah.
You're
Nope.
like, but your eyes were green in the pictures.
Well, I had a
How
heart
did it
attack
change?
and an appendicitis.
Now they're brown.
So it really fucked
and,
me up.
I'm also 3 inches shorter now.
And he was like,
It really did a number on me.
fun fact: your eye color
Oh my God, she said.
comes from your
I said,
appendix.
well, that does not change your facial features
Yes.
or your body build. He said, well, I lost a lot of weight. I rolled my eyes and said, okay, whatever. He ordered another drink from my money.
Sarah.
And I am too nice to make a scene, girl. You know that we relate to that shit.
Yep, we do.
I look over at his shoulder and he had no tattoo. The guy in the Tinder picture had a tattoo on his shoulder. So I asked him, where's his tattoo? He said he'd had it removed for work.
Bullshit, you
Dude,
motherfucker.
this fucking guy.
I had a heart
This
attack and it
fucking
removed
guy.
my tattoo.
He has
Okay.
the same disease that Casey Anthony had, where she
Oh,
was just
Just
like
lies.
where she's just
lies,
like
lies.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. She's just like, I'm
Bitch,
gonna
no,
lie until I literally cannot lie anymore.
Yeah,
Like until I'm
till my
literally
last
blocked
breath.
into a corner. Like what the
a literal
shit?
corner.
Literally.
A literal dead
Yes.
end.
My
walled
debit
corner.
card, my cat, my
My
appendix.
neck, my back.
Exactly. Oh my God. Fucking
This is-
tattoos.
It's
This is
impressive. This is
insane.
Olympic level lying.
This is psychopath level lying.
Oh man. So she says the douche works for a trucking company, so I highly unlikely that he had it removed for work. He later went outside with my friend to have a cigarette. He went on and on to her about how I probably think he's a catfishing. He's a catfishing me.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's try that one more time. He's catfishing me. And about his lost cat. They later came in. My friend and I said, well, we are going to finish our drinks and leave. He said, me too, chugged his drink and walked out the door. After we left, we were telling the bartender how we met and showed her the Tinder pictures. And we laughed and laughed about this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I let it go until 4 days later when I was telling my coworkers about this. So I did so I Googled, Facebooked, dug and to see what I came up with. Turns out he didn't give me his correct name. He has all kinds of social media and he has a girlfriend that he lives with.
Oh.
And he has a kid with his girlfriend.
No.
So I screenshot a picture of him and his girlfriend, sent it to him, and I said,
I
how
love
cute,
her.
Mike
Oh,
Luker.
My God, I love
Then
her
I
so much.
messaged his girlfriend because if I were her, I would have wanted to know.
Oh, I love
Yes,
her.
ma'am.
Girl.
She's the best.
She accepted the message, read it, and blocked me. And he blocked me too. So I just giggled. Those idiots are definitely meant for each other. I have not used Tinder since. This kind of scared me of online dating.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I feel like that happens more often than not. Is like that's going to be the reaction of the wife or girlfriend. But I still think fucking tell them anyway.
Tell them anyway.
Tell them anyway. Like,
Exactly.
because how they respond to it's not your responsibility.
And maybe
Like-
sometimes it just takes time, if you're planting that seed, they may not react really well in the moment. Sometimes people don't like to hear the truth and they might not have a good reaction to you, but the truth is there. The truth is there.
She's
and so
looking
it
for
might not
signs
be.
now.
Yeah, exactly. You may save her in the long run. So good on you for doing the fucking right thing. And I am applauding you.
I love the way she handled this whole situation.
I love the theme of like,
Yeah.
no online dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that too. Fantastic.
Like, let's try the real world for once.
Yeah, no shit.
See what happens.
Yeah, I think there's a combination of that, and then what you were talking about with the whole like 17% or whatever being in their like AirPods in their own like personal fucking world while they're having sex, or just like I just need
That's
some
just
like
the world now.
I just
That's
need
sad.
like real life connections
Connection.
where I'm like I'm looking at you
Yeah.
and you're looking at me and we're talking face to face.
Yeah.
And let's see what's
happening.
honestly,
I do see why people in LA spend like $1,000 to go on retreats where they're like unplugged.
I legitimately consider you guys my best friends, and I still think that sometimes in text it's so easy to take out of context or to take to heart something that you're like, okay, I need to let that go because there's no way that they are
100%
like really upset with me.
No,
Like,
because
they're
like
not, you know what I mean?
100%, like this week was so bananas for me where it's just like, it was so catch as catch can in between things where I still wanted to be engaged with people. But I was like, I went back and reread it and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like I had some weird moments where I was like, I don't know. I hope this didn't come off wrong or something. But I'm just like, I'm, irritated in this movie and I'm going to be short.
Say,
and it's still like, oh my God. It's
God
so
for
fucking
Lexapro,
crazy.
because I could literally look at that and be like, she's not mad at me. It's just she's having a moment right now, and I can let it move to a place where it's fine.
But
and
you're trying to get to know people through these fucking texts.
Exactly.
It's impossible. You're trying to get to know a fucking stranger.
Yeah.
Well, I use social media and I'm on my phone as much as anybody, like all the time. And I should probably be on my phone a lot less. But I do sometimes think about it where I'm just like, what if for just one day all of us could unplug? What if the entire
Completely
world at the same time like unplugged? Like what would that be like? And I just kind of feel like I wish we could do that just once.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're never going to experience that again. I experienced that when I was a kid. And like that's the last time I ever
literally
experienced
never
people
experienced that life again.
being unplugged.
It's so weird.
And it is different because you can interpret things so fucking differently, like via text than you would in real life. I don't know. It's the internet's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Truly.
No shit.
All right, hold on. I'm going to refill real quick.
Okay.
Do you want the Pinot or the?
I think I want to try this shard.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So we are going to talk about a story that I did not know about. And I was trying to
I
research.
can't believe it. Something you've not heard about?
I truly am also shocked because it's such a salacious story.
Okay.
That I'm very surprised that I'd never heard of it. And the only thing I can think of is because it's a Canadian story. And I know that we have a lot of Canadian listeners. So you guys write in and let us know if you knew about this lady. I was just like reading through. And this is not that, but I really wanted to do a Black Widow story. So I was looking for Black Widows, and then I came across this in some like listicle.
Okay.
And I was like, I would like to know more about that.
You're like,
please.
I need to hear this story.
I need to hear the rest of this story, please and thank you. So I am going to be talking about, and get all of your jokes out now or throughout the entire story. That's fine
got
too.
it. Cool. Okay.
I'm
know us.
Going to be talking about Evelyn Dick.
Okay.
I looked right into Cassie's eyes, just right into her eyes. I knew.
Because you know that I'm a 12-year-old boy who's going to be like, I'm going for the low joke.
So today we're going to talk about Dick. Here we go.
No, I mean, you said Black Widow. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, brutal honesty here. There's always a piece of me that's like, teach me some of your ways.
Teach me your ways.
I can't even get these are women that can get multiple men to fall in love with me.
And
I'm
9
like,
times, okay, and this is not a Black Widow story, not really. But
okay.
But not in the traditional way that we typically think of, like having like many husbands.
Right.
But and that's what I wanted to do. That's what I was looking to do.
Yeah.
But I am fascinated by them too, because 9 times out of 10, they're also not super beautiful women.
No, they're
and you're
not.
like, fucking, how are you doing? Do you just have the charisma that you are able to marry like
Bundy.
10 different men and get away with murdering 9 of them? Like, this is
makes me think of my fucking Nana.
I feel like it makes it better that you're just average looking. Because then you're not a
you're
threat.
unassuming.
You're unassuming.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
this
like,
woman,
what is it about your personality that makes people like fall in
magnetic.
love
Like,
with
I
you?
just can never get away with it because I'm just too good looking. You know what I mean?
you know what I mean? And
Just too. I'm
so too
intimidating.
hot. Too hot. Way too hot. Well, maybe that was the problem here. So, okay, we'll talk about that. Because that was not Evelyn's problem. Evelyn was beautiful. She was a beautiful woman, which is part of what made her story such a huge media sensation in Canada at the time.
Yes. Tell us more about Miss Dick.
So, Miss Dick. Mrs. Dick. So she
you're
was
nasty.
born Evelyn McLean. Yes. On October 13th, 1920. And I was like, October 13th? That seems like such a witchy date.
Ooh.
1920 in Beamsville, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah. Okay.
Her parents were Scottish immigrants, and they'd moved to Canada looking for better work opportunities. So when she was born, her parents weren't super well off, but shortly after she was born, her father took a position as a conductor on the Hamilton Street Railway, and this provided a better income for the family, so it allowed them to move out of Beamsville and into the nearby town of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Her childhood, everything I read kind of said that her childhood wasn't particularly happy, but it doesn't seem like it was marred by any amount of like serious abuse or anything.
Well, everybody
It's
wants to have that trope of having like a bad family so that they can make it okay.
Yeah, I mean,
that they
it
did
does-
something
it's-
shitty.
It seems like her dad had a bit of a drinking problem, but like what dad didn't in the 20s.
It was the Depression.
And her parents fought a lot.
It's kind of like watching Intervention. They always go back and it's like, oh, their parents got divorced, so this is why she
You're like,
does
there's the
heroin.
catalyst.
So did 50%
Yeah.
of fucking kids.
Everyone we knew growing up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what I will say for Evelyn, though, is that something that did kind of make her childhood unique, and I think did play later into her adulthood, is that she was an only child, and her parents were really protective of her. Her mom was really kind of obsessed with climbing the social ladder, and her parents did not allow her to play with the neighborhood children. They only wanted her to play with like high society children, like from high upper class.
Sounds like my
families.
mom. I'm just kidding.
I love how like parents just really like imprint their bullshit. on
project
young
all their
minds.
shit, and especially if you are the only child and just kind of the focus of this obsession. And she was beautiful. She was like a beautiful child.
Right.
So
Don't hang out with the riffraff.
yeah, exactly. Like, listen, you're our ticket up out of here. So
That's right.
keep in
You
mind
could be somebody someday.
that's exactly how they sounded in 1920s, except for maybe with a little bit more of a Scottish accent. Keep in mind that her dad is a conductor on the railway, so he's not making a ton of money.
Right.
So it came
He's
as a
just, like,
surprise.
You know, better than the Depression.
Right, you're just riding
Right.
that, and this is Canada, so I don't even really know how.
That was
hard-
worldwide. Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Oh, I didn't know that.
shows how much I know.
I didn't know that either.
But they were really kind of riding that middle class line. They weren't well off. So it came as a surprise to people in the neighborhood when her
Wait,
dad.
I'm an idiot. The Depression was 1929, so this was before.
Oh, this is before.
Yeah.
Well, but maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe not now, because as she started to get older, it came as a surprise to the people in the neighborhood that her dad took her out of public school and put her into this very prestigious private school. And everyone was like, how can they afford that? Like, they shouldn't be making that kind of money.
And he's like, don't you fucking worry about how I'm making that kind of money.
Don't worry about me. How about you mind your own business?
Right.
How about that?
Business.
Mind your business. But of course, I mean, any of these towns, when stuff like this starts happening, it seemed like the McLeans always had like a lot of money. They were able to buy a lot of material possessions. They stayed in their neighborhood, but they were sending her to a really nice school.
Yeah.
And so stories started to circulate that Evelyn's dad was maybe stealing money from his employer. But it was just kind of like town gossip at this time. So as Evelyn got older, she grew to be a very beautiful woman. And her parents, I think, definitely saw that beauty as like a way that not only that Evelyn could secure a wealthy husband and like a comfortable life for herself, but a way that all of them could move up the social ladder. So she attended a lot of parties in her teens, and her parents kind of encouraged it.
Yeah.
And she always had a lot of male suitors, but even so, she was...
God, I wonder why women are so obsessed with beauty when it's considered such a currency.
I mean, I've had this conversation with so many people, and I'm like, I get it that men don't quite understand it, but I'm like,
no.
You have to... It can seem odd to men or like people on the outside who haven't maybe experienced it, but up until very, 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 very recently, it was in a lot of ways the only way that you could advance your social status.
I'd still say in many ways still.
I think it still is. It's pretty less, privilege is a thing.
Absolutely. I think it's less of a thing now than it has been in the past.
But in the 20s, you goddamn right.
There's no way. You're not going to move up through your education. You're not going to move up through getting a good job and making your own money.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to move up because you were pretty and sociable and you made the right connections.
Yeah.
Right.
So...
You're going to marry a doctor.
Yes. You're going to have a great life. So, given all of that, we can also say that there's a lot of competition among women that I don't always like, and I don't encourage that kind of behavior, but a lot of women particularly didn't like her because she wasn't from a high social status. She was an immigrant. She was coming in. A lot of people thought that she was trashy because she was a teenager and her parents were putting her in these like really expensive furs and kind of like scandalous outfits. And she was flirting with these older men. So of course she gravitated towards just being with the men because the men accepted her.
Of course.
And like wanted her to be around.
Yep.
I kind of feel a kinship towards her right now. I was in private school when I had no business being in private school, but it was due to like some like financial aid and a lot of and scholarship and yeah, I definitely didn't fit in with the girls. I mean, I didn't start making friends with women until after I had left shadowing and came out here.
Right.
You know, where I was like, oh, okay.
You got a friend in me.
That's right. You got a friend in me.
And I think that a lot of people I think this happens a lot with people who are of an upper class, particularly, especially like in this time period.
You're encroaching on their territory.
Yes. You're moving in on our turf. You're moving in on, because it's also their currency. And like you're moving in on their men. You're moving in on their future prospects.
Yeah.
Like, so they're getting defensive about it. And of course, the men, they might make you feel like they see you as equal.
Something more than that. Yeah. They don't.
They don't. You're a young, beautiful woman and they just want you around. So she starts hanging out a lot with men who are older.
Okay.
And spending a lot of time with them.
That was always the way I used my currency as well. Older men.
Yeah.
Me too.
Older men. So
I'm looking up this bitch, by the way, right now.
Yes, do it.
I want to look at her picture.
Like.
Evelyn Dick. So she's...
don't worry.
But
I didn't forget.
Don't read anything about it.
I won't.
Because it's going to be a surprise. Just pictures. Images only. Both of you. Okay. So she's hanging out with older dudes all the time. And in 1941, she gets pregnant. So she's 21.
Oh my
at
God,
this
she's
point.
so pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty.
I just went to images to be safe.
Especially, in her younger pictures too. She's very pretty. So,
oh my God.
Don't read anything. So she gets pregnant in 1941 at the age of 21. And in 1942, in July of 1942, she gives birth to a daughter who she names Heather. And
wait, she got married?
She did not get married. Okay, hold on.
Sorry, I was looking at pictures. I'm back.
Okay, I'm going to rewind. So she's hanging out with these older dudes all the time. And in 1941, she gets pregnant. Ooh. And in July of 1942, she gives birth to a daughter who she names Heather. And she tells people around that she's not an unwed mother because, of course, people are blabbing their mouths about the fact that this woman got pregnant.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Like outside of
this
wedlock.
This is exactly what I found out my Nana did. It's my Nana.
That's right. What if this is your Nana?
I have not found, and I mean, I've been searching now for 2 years for a marriage certificate between my Nana and my great-grandfather. And it was the same time period, too. It was like late 1930s. No marriage certificate. And she's like, oh, no, we divorced. No divorce
certificate.
Well, because, I mean, again, we're talking about like social media. This is when you could just lie about shit.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm married, and he went off to the war.
Okay. On that note.
Okay.
Yep. So she tells people that she's not an unwed mother because people are blabbing their mouths, and that she married a man who just happened to be stationed overseas, and his last name is
just
White.
Like a Canadian boyfriend.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't know him.
You wouldn't know him.
You wouldn't know him.
He's from Canada.
So she says that the soldier's last name is White, and so she gives the kid the name White. She puts that on the birth certificate. So she has a daughter named Heather White. So Evelyn's mother looks after Heather most of the time so that Heather can continue, or so that Evelyn can continue to go out and party as much as she wants.
Thanks, Mom. We're back.
So in 1944, she gets pregnant again. She gives birth to a son who she names Peter. And so his name is Peter White. And again, take into account that no one has ever... Peter White Dick. I can't. My sister. We're fucking so immature. Like, honestly, these poor people.
Oh my God. Oh, continue.
Okay, we're good.
We're normal.
Good. We're normal. Okay, so keep in mind that no one has ever met this man who she's saying was her husband, and she's naming these children
Mr. White,
giving them this last name on their birth certificates. Like,
right.
This is what is on their birth certificates. So Evelyn returns home from the hospital after giving birth to Peter, and she doesn't bring Peter with her. And when people ask about it, she says that she's given Peter up for adoption. She's like, I couldn't afford both children. So I've given Peter up for adoption. And that was a very typical thing that happened at that time. People were like, okay. So around this time, her parents finally decide to split up, and Evelyn takes her daughter Heather and moves into an apartment with her mom. Again, often leaving Heather alone with her mother so that she could continue her social life. She would continue to go out. Left Heather at home. Heather was probably like 4 at this time.
Yikes.
With her mom. In 1945, Evelyn meets a man named John Dick.
Mr. Dick.
Mr. Dick.
Yes.
And he's 15 years Evelyn's senior. He's a Russian immigrant, and he'd only just moved to Hamilton, and he was employed as a streetcar driver.
He sounds perfect.
Well, they meet.
How is a Russian immigrant's name John Dick?
I don't. Maybe
Did they just make that up and
when he came over? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a not very Russian
It does.
name.
It was like Distrikovich or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So they meet, and John starts bringing Heather and Evelyn gifts. So he's really sweet to Heather. He's really, really sweet on Evelyn. He's very infatuated with her. And Evelyn thinks that he's a very nice guy. So she meets him whenever she goes to her dad's job. She meets him, and then he's at the same place where her dad works, and so she would see him pretty often. And by all accounts, he's a super nice dude. And she's like, okay, he seems like he would treat me well. He seems like he would treat Heather well.
She seems like Christina, and that she's like, he's nice.
He's nice. He can give me like a nice life, right?
He's nice.
This is fine.
Evelyn tells John that she's a widow and that her husband, I'm guessing Mr. White.
Yes, Mr. White.
Died in World War II.
Yeah.
John, he's completely taken with her, and after a few weeks, Evelyn announces to her family that she and John are getting married. And Evelyn, a few weeks, very fast. So
Wow.
Evelyn is really excited about the prospect of getting married to John because, for reasons that are unclear to me, she believes that John is rich. Like, she thinks that he has a lot of money.
Is a street card?
And I don't know why. I don't understand why
immigrant.
she's under this impression. But she is.
Because he's old.
I just fucking figured it out. I figured it out.
What?
I figured out how Black Widow does it. Because we've all gotten, I assume when you guys were dating, guys that like fell in love too fast. That we were all
You just
like,
say yes to that.
You're like, no, thank you. You just say yes.
You say yes to the Luke
You
P's
say
of the
yes.
world. You just like, all right.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
like-
you don't have to put up with them for very long.
You're
Because
like,
you're
because
going
you're
to
gonna
kill
kill him.
It's legitimately, this is fine.
them. There it is. That's the
light
secret.
bulb moment.
It's not about, because
not
you're not
about-
marrying people you like necessarily.
No.
Boy,
Yeah.
you're not going to murder somebody you like.
Interesting.
There you go.
Gross.
Brilliant. Okay.
Okay.
So of course John isn't rich, and her parents seem to know this, and they're disapproving of the marriage right off the bat.
Yeah,
So
I disapprove
disapproving
too.
that they don't attend the wedding. They don't even go.
Shit.
So Evelyn and John get married in October of 1945, and after the wedding, they live separately. Evelyn continues to live in the apartment with her mom, with her daughter.
Did she form goop?
Yes, is she Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yes.
But she basically tells him, she's like, sorry, like, we're full up here, can't fit another person in the apartment, so sorry.
Yeah.
We only us can
Yikes.
fit in here. And John is frustrated, like, understandably he's frustrated. He wanted to have like a normal family life with
Right.
with Evelyn and Heather. So finally, John purchases a house for them to live in together after a couple of months. But strangely, it's only Evelyn's name that's on the deed and the mortgage to the house.
That is odd.
It is odd.
Perplexing, I'd say.
I wonder
How do
why.
you talk someone into that?
Oh, shit.
She's pretty.
She is pretty.
So while
He's 15
Evelyn,
years older. He's like, whatever.
Whatever, it's
I'm going
fine.
to die before you. It's fine.
when Evelyn starts to realize that John isn't as wealthy as she thought, she, this is what I wrote in my notes. She starts wearing less and going out more, Drake style.
Yeah.
She starts dating other men. She's living with John. She's leaving Heather at home with John and going out and partying and like dating other dudes.
I'd love to know how that fucking works.
It doesn't.
I gotta be honest. I don't think I could pull it off.
No.
I mean,
I'd
I do
be
travel
tired.
for work.
I'd
I mean,
be fucking tired.
Girl,
You have too much Netflix to watch to
I
fucking
got so much Netflix.
fucking
I got
guys.
books to read. I read 2 books this week.
Yeah, you're busy.
Damn, I
I'm
got shit to
busy.
do.
Yeah.
So when this starts happening, eventually John gets fed up with the situation and he goes and he lives with his cousin. He moves out. So John doesn't want to give up on his marriage, though, and so he goes to Evelyn's dad, whose name is Donald. I don't think I said that, but he goes over to Donald's house, and he's like, listen, your daughter is out of control. Here's all the shit that she's doing.
And he's like, motherfucker, this is your problem
This
now.
is your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
But he's like, I need you to help me save my marriage. Can you talk to her? Like, can you do something to like make her stop behaving this way? I'm like, well, maybe you should have known her for longer than like 2 weeks before you got married, but whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Donald doesn't want anything to do with it. He didn't like John anyway.
Good for
so he's
Donald.
kind of like, whatever, if your relationship falls apart.
Then maybe she can still snag a wealthy guy. So
Yeah,
like hopefully it falls
listen.
apart while she's still pretty.
We didn't cultivate this girl to be married to you.
Yeah.
Let's be
We
real.
didn't breed this pretty girl.
Exactly right.
for you.
They're like, we have one shot. We had one kid. Donald doesn't want anything to do with it. And so blah, 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 blah. John tells Donald that if he doesn't help him get his wife back, he's going to go to the cops and tell them how Donald has been stealing from his employer for years.
Wow.
Donald
Whoa.
becomes enraged by this, and he threatens to kill his son-in-law. And John takes this threat so seriously that he actually goes and reports it to the police because he's that like concerned about it. So on March 6th, 1946, John Dick disappears. He's gone.
He
The
decided to
cousin has not seen him.
He's probably just, he'll be back soon.
You know, he's kicking it.
Just
He's just
back anytime.
hitchhiking.
Yeah.
Discovering himself.
He ran away from home. He was like, he's trying to explore new options.
Sure.
He'll be back.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
But okay, here's where shit starts to get crazy. 10 days later, on March 16th, 1946, 5 school children playing along the side of Hamilton's escarpment, or what the locals call the mountain, stumble across what they think is the body of a headless pig. Upon closer
Don't like that.
inspection, they discover that what they have actually found is the torso of an adult male. No head, no arms, no legs. Literally just the torso.
Yo.
And you can find pictures of these kids, like, because they were all over the news. And it's kind of weird because there are pictures of them all together and they're like little kids and they're like smiling.
What is this
And you're like,
Stand By
"Oh."
Me shit?
I was just going to say this is Stand By Me shit right there.
But
Right?
can you imagine just finding a torso? Like, what?
No.
A weird, like, ugh.
I can't imagine, because I mean, that's it. I mean, it's so common, like people literally like dismembering bodies
Right.
and stuff.
It's true.
Huge. What I can't imagine, Robert Durst, for instance,
I need to
convicted
get some
of it,
torso tattoos
just like-
so I can be just recognizable.
True.
where I'm like, I don't get how someone's even capable of doing that.
I don't eat. It would take so much.
I get weird
physical
sometimes
force.
about cutting into chicken.
Absolutely.
So true.
I close my eyes. I just rewatched Us again, and like I close my eyes anytime there's like stabbing or
Yes.
I just
Don't like
I
it.
can't.
Yes.
I can't even imagine.
Can't.
You have to be the only way I think I could ever do it is if my life was in danger. And it was
Yeah.
happening in the moment. I could never plan to do something.
I
like this.
don't even know if I would be able to do it in that respect. It wears me out so much. Like that.
No,
I
that,
could definitely do it in that respect.
It does to me
I could
too,
protect
but I
myself.
think any one of us. Like,
I'm a
I think
shooter.
I think you're
gonna,
like,
I'm gonna shoot you with a gun,
but I think
from
your
a distance.
fight response would kick in.
I'm going to claw your
so
fucking eyeballs
hard.
out. I'm
But
going
I
to do
still-
that move where I push your
if
eyeballs
I
and
hate
charge your
that.
head.
That grosses me out so bad. But I bet I would do it if I
But
had
I
to.
would do
Even
it.
bet I would.
Even if I
had
did it though, I wouldn't be able to dismantle the body
Oh,
post mortem.
No, God, no.
I would only kill if I had to. So the police were called, and they immediately start an investigation. Obviously, because there's a fucking torso without any limbs or a head connected,
Right.
on the side of this hill.
Like obs, a
This
homicide.
is Soup's weird. I don't think this was an accident.
No,
no?
didn't
Suicide.
accidentally.
He just fell down and his arms and
Head,
legs fell
arms.
off. So John's cousin soon came forward and told police that he had not seen John since March 6th. And so he must have had some kind of identifying markers on his torso, because this poor cousin, this is not what you sign up for as a cousin.
Nope.
They called his cousin in to identify the body,
I'm
the
legitimately
torso,
shaking my head. No.
and he was able to verify, like, yes,
He's like,
that's
yes, that's my
He did
cousin's
have a
m-
mole above his,
He's like, that penis looks familiar.
Yep.
Well, I mean, was the penis involved in the torso? These are the questions we need to ask.
Well, if you just
was
remove
it cut
legs, yeah.
below? Yeah,
You
I guess
cut
it
off
would
your
have
legs.
been.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your
yeah,
cock and
your
doodle's
dick.
there.
Cock and doodles. Oh my god.
I don't like that.
I got all the
Kathy.
words today.
I mean, he's John Dick.
I don't like that at
So
all.
there you go.
So
Mr. Dick still got his dick.
he was somehow able to identify that this was his cousin, John Dick. And he explains the issues that John was having in his marriage to Evelyn. And it's not long before police seek Evelyn out. And on March 19th,
Well, especially because she's not like been like, hey, my husband's missing.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, granted, they were living apart at this
that's
point.
true.
And so maybe you could just justify that, rationalize that they weren't living together. So on March 19th, the day before my birthday, 1946, they call Evelyn in for questioning. And when investigators tell Evelyn that the torso is part of her missing husband, and this is like the famous line that you'll see in every article you read about her, because there's actually not a lot about her on the internet, but this comes up every single time. She says, "Don't look at me. I had nothing to do with it." Which is really weird.
That's a weird
Sir,
thing to
nobody asked
say.
you. No,
Yeah,
nobody's-
we're just letting you know we found this torso, but
And it
Hey, don't look at
seems-
me. I didn't do it. Like, it's super weird. And
that
she was
makes
also
me want to blame you and think that you did it.
She was also very casual about it, which, like, if you were told that, even if you didn't like your husband, anyone you knew, even if you didn't like them, if you were like, the police came and they were like, hey, we found their disembodied, like, torso.
Yeah, my
I'd be
responsibility.
like,
Don't look at me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that's
my
intense.
God.
Even my ex-boyfriend, I'd be like, well, don't look at me. I didn't do it.
So
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
her first story is that she claims that a well-dressed Italian man came to her house
that didn't
asking
happen.
about the whereabouts of John. Yeah, she basically is
No.
like, the mob came.
No.
Yeah.
And-
hashtag blame minorities.
Yes.
Oh.
She wrote in her statement that the man told her that John had been seeing the man's wife and that he was going to, quote, fix him.
Wrong.
And this garnered a pretty serious side eye from detectives. They were like,
wrong.
I don't know about that.
It's a no.
So they keep investigating, and they soon discovered the number of missteps this woman took. They soon discovered that Evelyn had borrowed a large Packard car from a man named Bill Landig, and when she returned the car, the seat covers were missing, and there were blood stains on the front seats of the car,
Ma'am.
and blood-stained clothes in the back.
Do
Like,
better.
bitch, do better.
better.
At least get rid of the clothes.
Make yourself a CYA. That stands for cover your ass.
That's damn
Like I
right.
do it for all of my events
Same.
for work, and it's like, okay,
Always a
get rid of
CYA.
the blood-stained clothes,
right.
Clean the fucking seat
Be
covers.
better.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
be
and here's
better
the thing: she
at
clearly
lying.
knew that it was suspicious because
Make yourself a
when
list.
she returned the car, she borrowed this fucking car, and when she returned the car, she left a note in the car.
Sorry about the
that
blood.
Said, yeah, pretty much. That said, like, my daughter Heather cut herself while she was a passenger in the car, and that's
Okay.
when all the blood is from.
Right.
Like, it's like there's a
Okay.
ton of blood in here. There's bloody clothes in the back. There's blood all over the front seat.
These are men's clothes.
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
shit? And so police investigations proved that, because this is 1946, I'm impressed with this, they proved that the blood type was the same as John's. So they couldn't
Nice.
determine, they couldn't match like DNA, but they could say like the blood type was the same
So like,
as John's blood. Mhm.
yeah.
So when confronted with this evidence, Evelyn told police that a mysterious man had called her. Story number 2. A mysterious man had called her and told her that John had made a woman pregnant and that,
Okay.
quote, he was getting what was coming to him. She says the man then demanded that she meet him, so she drives up
Fake news.
and meets up with this dude who has a large sack with him. This guy, according to Evelyn, tells her that the sack contains, quote, parts of John. And she goes on to say that she drove this man to a place near where the torso was found so that
No.
he could dump it off.
No.
So I wrote side-eye intensifies from police. They asked Evelyn if she was concerned that her husband had been killed, and she replied that she was not happy, but it was, quote, a pretty mean trick to break up a home. Because he was fucking a married woman and got her pregnant, according to her story.
Okay.
So now this is where the police kind of fucked up, because they took Evelyn's statement without her lawyer being present. And when
But
her
did she ask for a
lawyer
lawyer?
finally did arrive,
Canadian
I guess
rules. I don't know what the
I don't
rules
know.
are.
I don't know what the rules are. But when her lawyer finally did arrive, he reminded them of this and told police that the statement was inadmissible in court. So the next time she was interviewed, they interviewed her again. She changed her story again. Now she says that her friend Bill Bohazuk and some of his associates had taken John into the mountains and killed him.
Okay.
And when
This makes me want to beat my head against
Right,
the
I
wall.
know. And when detectives told Evelyn that this statement differs from what Bill had told them, she changes her story again,
Jesus.
and police search the home. So now police are like, okay, we're going to get a warrant. We're going to search your family home. So the home that her dad lives in. And they find a pipe with bullet holes in it and bloodstained shoes that had belonged to John. They also find, guys,
Why don't you burn that
Hold-
shit?
She's a
I
bad
don't understand
criminal.
why people are so bad at murder.
She's a
So
very bad
bad.
criminal.
Yeah.
But guys, hold on to your hats, because shit's about to take a turn.
Oh, Jesus.
They also find something they were not looking for. They find a beige suitcase in the attic. This suitcase is filled with concrete, and in the concrete is the remains of a baby boy.
No.
Peter White, who she says she gave up for adoption.
No.
She did not give up for adoption. She had the baby. killed the baby, put the baby in concrete in a suitcase, and left it in her attic. Yes.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my
Shit
God.
Can you believe you've never heard this story? Isn't this insane?
I have no
You put the
words.
baby in concrete?
I need like a
Yes.
moment of silence. Like
Yes.
I
For Peter White.
literally cannot. That is a fucking level that I just wasn't.
I'm sorry.
not
I
prepared
know.
for.
I had to
That's-
let that take a turn for you
That's
guys.
what I've never understood. It's like if you end up having the baby, they're just like there's a
You had a
gagillion.
healthy baby
you had
that could have been a
gillion different like
Baby
avenues
was
that
born.
you can go to.
Baby was born. You could
Yeah.
have done a million different
I've
things.
never, ever,
Mhm.
ever understood that.
And you hear
'Cause
those stories
even
all
back
the
in
time.
that day,
Mhm.
there were a billion different like orphanages and like
And you hear that
different
all the time. I mean, even
yeah.
recently in the last like 10 years,
Even
there was that
recently.
woman in Utah who like they found like 5 babies in her garage.
yeah.
Excuse me, what?
Yes,
Oh,
and like
you don't
her
know
husband,
about this?
her husband was like, I didn't
No.
know she was pregnant all those times because she was
Yeah.
kind of like a bigger woman, and she would be pregnant, she would give birth on her own, and then she would kill the babies and leave the babies in her garage. She
Yeah,
had
in like
5.
fucking shoeboxes.
Yeah.
And shit.
Oh
Mhm.
no!
Mhm.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
It's awful.
Oh
Sorry,
my!
I didn't prepare you guys for how awful that was about to get.
Oh.
So,
Trigger fucking warning.
Sorry.
Yeah, T-dubs.
sorry, I needed it
Jesus.
to be a surprise.
Yeah.
So Evelyn went on to change her story a few more times before police finally decided to charge Evelyn, Bill Bohazuk, and Evelyn's father, Donald, with the murder of John Dick. So Evelyn's trial starts on October 7th, 1946, and it was a media sensation. Evelyn was only 25 and she was beautiful. And on the stand, she testified to having slept with over 150 men, which in
So,
1946,
I'm all so.
in 1946, a woman who is 25 being like, I've fucked 150 dudes is like people were like, I'm sorry, what?
You might as well have said a million.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm thinking now.
That's a lot for
I've-
25.
I've not.
Now
well,
that I'm thinking
and
about it.
it's no judgment or anything like that.
I think
but
it's a
I'm
lot
like,
in general.
I'm
It's
like,
fine.
I feel like I've slept with a lot of people. I haven't come close to that. That number.
150 is a lot.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
I haven't either.
Yeah. And I,
But also, I got no shame for her.
no, none,
Not about that.
none,
Except that she
no.
was married. That's a little. I
Well,
got
but
shame for
she
that.
could have had. She probably started her. Or, I mean, she was spending a lot of time with a lot of older men from
Here's
her
my
early
fucking
teens.
question right fucking now. I'm going to say this. As somebody who got pregnant at 18, the first time I had sex without a condom, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd had sex before, but the first time unprotected sex, you only had 2 babies? I'd have had 150 babies.
Well, and who knows if she's
some
actually
people are like fertile myrtles, you know?
right, and some people aren't, and like
all that.
Who knows if she's actually telling the truth here either, like, or if
Yeah.
she's just being sensationalist. But
Yeah.
she did say that, and it already this case had garnered. It's a fucking disembodied torso. It's a dead infant. It's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
You already had the recipe for like a sensational story, and
Yeah.
then her saying that.
You're right. How the fuck did we not hear this?
I don't
they're,
know.
They're
The
like,
only thing
they're
is because
like,
it's
we're
Canadian.
Canadians. We're only supposed to care about maple syrup.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're supposed to be the
kidding.
nicest people of all
We're
time.
supposed to be so nice. This is crazy.
This is
This
bananas.
shit is LA shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They're
get,
like,
you
you
get
get
out of
your-
our
yeah.
country with that shit.
Exactly.
So
They're like, go back to Scotland.
Charlie Gillis, who was writing for Maclean's magazine at the time, he said it was the golden age of newspapers, and they had a field day with Hamilton's Black Widow trial. Constant front page treatment of the story transfixed readers, drawing hundreds to gather outside the courthouse during the proceedings.
Wow.
And during this time, there was an after for a while, which, can we talk about how fucked up schoolyard like rhymes are? They're
Oh,
fucked up.
yeah.
There was a well-known schoolyard song at this time that went as follows. You cut off his legs, you cut off his arms, you cut off his head. How could you miss Stick? How could you miss his dick?
Do you know the Lizzie
That doesn't even
Borden
fucking
one,
rhyme.
right?
That's
Doesn't
not
even
good. I don't
rhyme.
like that.
It's a bad
That's
one, but
dumb.
also, like, what
am I
the
supposed to jump rope to that?
Exactly. Like,
Come
give
on.
me a Miss Mary Mac all day.
You guys
day.
know the Lizzie Borden one, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You know, my family like worked with them, and that my Aunt Julia,
What?
like my great Aunt Julia, ended up like living in that house,
What?
and my great great-grandparents worked with the Bordens.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. We were all from Fall River,
Levels.
Massachusetts.
Oh,
so
shit.
I've got a million different like Lizzie Borden connections.
Oh, I fucking love
Wait,
that.
you also have some witch trial shit in your family, too,
Yeah,
don't you?
because my family came over to Salem, and then some went to Fall River, some went to Salem. So yeah,
That's amazing. I love that.
Goody Sarah Putnam, I'm looking at you.
I'm looking at you, making eyes at you.
Yeah.
So, after this sensational trial, Evelyn is found guilty of murder and her husband, and is sentenced to be hanged on January 7th, 1947.
1947, they're hanging bitches still?
Yes.
Yeah.
In certain parts of the U.S., I think
They're still
did it.
hanging in the 40s.
And in fact, I think I heard that you can still request that in some states in the United States. You
And
can
you
still request.
especially can now, given the fucking drug cocktail situation.
But yeah, that shit
You
is
can.
inhumane.
Someone just requested the electric chair. Anyways,
So she's sentenced to be hanged on January 7th, 1947. And the joint trial, so they decided that she would be tried on her own. So there's 3 of them. She's going to be tried on her own while the men will have a joint trial.
she's like, I have a vagina and I'm soups pretty and sympathetic.
Yeah,
So
let
y'all
me do this.
go.
But that did not
do your
work,
thing.
and she was convicted. So the joint trial of her father, Don McLean, and Bill Bohazuk was delayed for a long time due to legal disputes. And when it finally occurred, Evelyn refused to testify, which greatly damaged the prosecution's case. Bill Bohazuk was found not guilty, but Evelyn's father was found guilty of being an accessory after the fact and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Evelyn got a new lawyer and appealed her conviction, which delayed her death sentence. And her second trial began in February of 1947. Her lawyer successfully argued that Evelyn's statements to police were improperly admitted into evidence, and the trial judge did not properly instruct the jury to disregard that information.
Right.
So her verdict was overturned.
Oh, shit.
However, she was found guilty of the manslaughter of her son and was sentenced to life in prison for the manslaughter of Peter White.
Good.
So after serving, she was sent. This is Canada. We need to have a conversation.
You're like,
Canada,
we need to talk.
We need to talk because she was sentenced to life in prison, but after serving 11 years, Evelyn was released from prison on parole after 11 years. And that was in 1958.
I have things to say.
Yeah. And that was in 1958. And
So she was 38.
yeah. I mean, she was still fairly young. And
She's my age.
Here's the other thing about Canada. We're getting to the other thing about Canada here.
I'm gonna live my life.
What happened to her after that was a mystery because she was given a new identity.
Oh.
And she disappeared. So Canada, because she was a notorious
Isn't
criminal.
that what they
flip
did with the
this
fucking guy
table.
that decapitated someone on the bus?
Yes.
Yes. But you know what? That
I'm gonna
was
flip
at least
this table.
At least that guy was fucking schizophrenic. Like he had actual mental health problems that could be managed.
Right.
Like this woman just straight fucking murdered people, and because she was so notorious and got out on a life sentence after 11 years, and then they were like, how about we give you a new identity? And I read articles where people tried to find her, like journalists tried to find her. She could not be found. So she literally, for all we know, she could be 98 or whatever and still alive right now. We don't know because she literally disappeared.
What if she was?
Now
What
this
if she was my
podcast
nana?
has turned into a serial podcast.
Yeah, we are
where
gonna
we just
find
search
Oh my god,
Evelyn
murder
Dick.
squad,
Evelyn Dick.
Searching
murder
for dick.
squad,
Hashtag searching for dick.
searching for dick. It is
searching.
Oh my god, what am I going to title this episode? Either hashtag searching for dick or Frito Feet.
They're both good
They're all
options. I would not like to be you. So yeah, I mean, she disappeared. She got a new identity. She completely disappeared. And it should also be said that because of how this went down, Bill Bohazuk was not convicted.
Right.
The father was convicted as an accessory after the fact, and the conviction for Evelyn was overturned. So no one was actually convicted of murdering John Dick.
Oh,
There was no one who was convicted for his murder, and they never found the rest of his body.
Jesus.
You're sure it's not in a fucking concrete suitcase?
It probably is. Somebody,
Right.
is there a lake nearby? Somebody drain that shit and look for a
Okay.
suitcase. Is there
That's
a hidden
fucking
lake
terrible.
in there?
There is a lake nearby.
Lake Ontario. Oh dear.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know how. I think the only reason why we haven't heard about that is because we're not Canadian. If you're
Right.
Canadian and that's like you grew up hearing about that story, if
Oh,
it's an
shit.
infamous story in Canada, let us know because I stumbled across that and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's
What?
fucking insane. I feel like I've heard glimpses of that before because there's definitely bodies in suitcase listicles that I've stumbled
Sure.
on.
I mean,
There's so many bodies in
and also just like
suitcases.
parts of a body, like
Yeah.
just a torso. Also, like, what did you do with the rest of the body that you couldn't have done with the torso?
You're
like,
right.
shouldn't
It is
you
Lake
have-
Ontario. I was just double checking.
Yeah, I think there is a Lake Ontario.
No, it is. It's right. It's literally right by
Right
Hamilton.
there?
Yeah.
Oh,
'cause
there
it's
you
just
go.
below Mississauga.
Somebody
which is just below
drain
Toronto.
all of Lake Ontario, that giant ass lake, and tell me how many bodies are at
Good
the
luck.
bottom of it. Probably so many bodies.
fun.
But I mean, doesn't that make you think like they never found the rest of the body?
Yeah.
So if they had just disposed of the torso wherever they disposed of the legs and the arms and the head, they may never have been caught. They could have just been like, yeah, John Dick ran away. I don't know.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why would you leave the torso in
Why
a
are we
public
not
place?
all in the same headspace of just burn it?
Or just throw it into Lake Ontario. Nobody's draining that
I'm all
thing.
burn it.
You
Yeah.
obviously know how to use concrete.
Yeah.
Cover
Also,
that
why
torso
is
in
that
concrete.
suitcase still in your fucking
Dude,
attic?
Because fucking amateur hour, chick face left bloody fucking clothes in the back
the
seat
fucking
of
You know what?
Packard,
You
a
know
nice
what?
ass
car.
Packard.
You know what I have
I'm
to
like,
say?
I love you guys. You borrow my car and there's bloody clothes in the back
Going
seat.
straight
I'm
to
gonna
the
have
cops.
questions.
I'm gonna be
I'm
like,
gonna have
it's
questions.
ketchup. Don't worry.
I'm gonna be like,
Even if it's ketchup, like, why the fuck did you get ketchup all over my car?
Car.
You know what
yeah.
I have to say about that? Have you ever seen that episode of 30 Rock with John Hamm where she's dating him and he's living in the pretty
love
bubble?
Yes.
And like he doesn't understand that he's bad at everything because he's pretty.
He's pretty.
Oh, he's
yeah.
so
I
pretty.
feel like maybe that's the downside to being pretty from a very young age is that like
no
you're
one
just
tells you
like
you're like shitty.
nobody
at shit.
tells you can't
Yeah.
turn a car in that has blood all over
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Because
do
you're
whatever
like,
I
no,
want."
I'm sorry, I'm pretty.
Have you seen me? I'm
Although
so
if I
pretty.
do borrow your car and you do have clothes in the back seat that have like red all over them, it probably is ketchup from like catering and stuff. for
Well,
me,
that's my
just so
first
you know.
assumption, and that's what I
I'll be
will
like-
tell the police.
I'll be like, she's
It's
catering.
a fucking caterer.
Caterer.
Like it's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, it's
clearly
ketchup.
ketchup. Get the fuck out of here.
Clearly.
GTFO. Immediately.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, so that story is bananas.
Yay! Well
Wow.
done.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Well, so
Any-
we know that I've read 2 books this week.
Yes.
I also started watching Fleabag in the completely wrong way.
Yeah.
Yes.
You,
I'm
I'm
accidentally
so
started
sad.
watching season 2. That was weird.
I'm so sad. I'm so
I'm
sad
gonna-
you didn't get
It got
the.
ruined for you.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come at it correct.
So it really is kind of a complete package because there were like 3 years between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, the Brits do it like that sometimes.
Yeah.
They give
And-
you wide gaps between series.
And
So-
it makes sense as a complete package.
Yeah,
I
and I'm
feel
gonna
like.
watch it
Yeah.
for realsies though, because I want to give it the shot. I do love
Yeah.
the breaking the fourth wall thing. I love that shit.
Love it. Love
I do
it.
want to say that Billy Jensen hopefully is listening to this episode because we are all drinkerinos, and I did.
Yes.
He talks a lot
And-
about how much he likes The Bachelor and bad dating stories. I'm like,
Right.
bro,
bro.
Billy, if you're
But
listening now,
I emailed
thank
him
you.
once though, and he never wrote me back. So I'm better about it.
Also, like,
Why are
I've
you
been
fucking ruining this for us?
Sorry.
also
ruining everything.
Billy, answer my fucking email.
yeah, Murder Squad. I've been
I
fucking
love
down for that, man.
Love
I've
it.
been down for that. I didn't know anything about the Jeff Davis 8 from
No,
this
me
past
either.
week, and
Super
that was
excited.
super exciting
Dude.
because I knew all the other ones before, and I was like,
Did I immediately text you guys Monday morning last week when they were doing Israel Keys?
yeah,
You sure
You
did.
were-
You did. You were soups excited.
Girl, ladies, whoa. Israel Keys,
I know.
I've been hot on this trail because and I've been saying ever since too, I'm like, Murder Squad needs to do this because it's a fucking,
Yeah.
I think that it's funny listening to that episode because I looked at it, I was like, this is short considering fucking the levels that we
Right.
could go to on Israel Keys.
Depths.
There's so much. I think they just fucking hate this guy. Like, they literally are talking about, like, this guy is fucking
I think
boy.
I think True Crime Garage did a series on, back when I listened to True Crime Garage, I think that they did a series on him too. And it was like a fucking like 4-part series. That is how it gets, where you're just like, fuck this person.
Yeah.
Like,
all day.
honestly, like, fuck this person.
I
couldn't listen to more than like a few minutes of the police interviews of Israel Keys.
Well, then you will not like True Crime Bullshit, because they literally share all of them. And
I can't.
I'm fascinated by them, and here's why.
He's such a piece of shit, man.
He
He's
is.
such a piece of shit.
That's how I feel about
such.
Luca Magnotta. Did you guys ever, speaking of
yes.
did you guys ever?
Luca Magnotta
That
is
man,
the worst.
That would be a good Crazy in Love, actually. Like,
The
Luca
worst.
Magnotta is like the worst person of all fucking time, and like he's so self-absorbed that it's
so
very hard
self-absorbed.
to like. It's very hard to watch or listen
Even
to
just
anything.
look at his pictures and you'll be like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yes.
You're like, I
It's
hate
the
you already.
worst.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll...
And he gave himself that name, which you know how I feel about that shit.
Well, should we stan a fan?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to stan a fan.
Yeah, girl.
Yes. We want to give a shout out to Rachel Esquivel.
Yes, we are so familiar with your posts on Facebook.
They're
we love
fucking
it.
brilliant,
They're so
dude.
So
funny.
familiar
Can
that
make
literally we were like, did we already do her? Because we see your name all the time, girl.
I
Thank
know.
you so much.
Yes.
And we mean that in the like an honestly awesome way.
Yeah,
not
I
in a
love it.
negative way.
Don't stop. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
I am so like in love with her because her posts are fucking legit amazing. They're so funny. And they make my day. So I'm standing her this week. So what's up, Rachel?
Yes. Thank you so much for being so engaged. Honestly, I have to say, our Facebook group has been super active lately, and I am loving it. Every time I get on Facebook, it's like there's
It's
5
Drake Reno's Jr. If we're
yeah,
on there.
there's 5 new posts, and the memes. I'm living
for
the
the
memes.
memes. Yeah.
Loving it. Thank you guys.
Yeah. So honestly, I know we said it last week, but like, please come be a part of our group. Tell your friends about the podcast. Go visit our website, myworstdatepodcast.com. It's a one-stop shop. You can get on our Facebook group. You can get on Patreon. You can interact with us and send your stories. We fucking love hearing from you guys. It's just, it makes our day. Like, we have this group text going on, and we're always like so excited when someone becomes a new patron or joins the Facebook group or
we
does
get an
anything.
email.
Or we get an
Oh,
email.
man.
Exactly.
We got a handful of emails this week, and we loved it.
We're like, oh my God.
We're so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Like, so if you have a story that you've been sitting on and you're like, they're probably not going to like this, or it doesn't matter, like, we'll be
the judge of that.
First of all, yes, and
Yeah.
we'll be filled with like so much joy.
Yes.
And just having like gotten an email from you guys, it makes us so happy.
So we love it so much. And thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.